Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hawaii Esports League Championship Weekend, day number 2. And with that last semifinals game, Henry, the storyline has been set. We will have a new champion today
Yes.
because New Valley Goon Squad, they lost 2-1 against Eva Mackay in the semifinals. And now we have some new faces. Well, one new face, one old face. We have New Valley Tibbers versus Iolani Middle School.
Yep, and New Valley Tibbers has some of the members returning from last semester. It's not a full, complete roster from last semester, but Iolani is definitely a fresh face to these to this Vanta finals situation, and so I'm interested to see what they bring for us because we hear them a lot in the high school scene at the very least. I wonder if they have that infrastructure already building in from that pipeline into the middle school area, and if that's solid, if that wins here, then that shows they have that foundational building going all the way up, all the way through college, or preparing them for college, collegiate esports, I should say.
If it were anyone, it would be Iolani. Like, they are notorious, especially in the high school scene, for doing this multiple different sports. Like you have football, you have baseball, you have marching band. Iolani does it all.
They always beat my math team. I was very sad.
Mission failed. We'll get them next
time.
time.
But I'm done with those days. Let's see if Iolani can continue that legacy of winningness in this middle school competition. They are up against the New Valley Tibbers, like we mentioned. So their sister team is now out of the tournament. They're only semi-finalists. But with two teams from New Valley making it to the semifinalists on opposite sides of the bracket, this could mean we could still get New Valley bringing the trophy back home, albeit with a different squad. So we're going to have to see how this works out. It is going to be a best of 3 just like we had it, hopefully with a lot less technical difficulty.
Don't jinx it.
Well, you're here. You already did.
Okay, buddy. You're all right. But yeah, you're not wrong. We'll see what happens for these two squads, and we'll see if we go the distance or if it's going to be a 2-0 sweep for one side.
Okay. I'm going to ask you right now.
Yes.
Game score prediction. Not who wins, game score prediction. You're either right or you're wrong. It's 50-50.
Game score predictions. Like game number 1 or overall, sorry?
Overall. I know. You're scared. Say it.
My heart.
No, I don't. I want your opinion.
So I don't lose my job 2-0.
2-0? Okay.
So I don't lose my job.
Now, who wins?
I cannot answer that question. We will see. We will see.
Sounds like you know the script already.
I don't know the script. I mean, I have some scripts right here, but nothing about the game results, sadly.
But do we have somebody we would like to shout out?
Well, I mean, one of the big things, we already talked about Zip. We talked about PC Gamers. We can talk about the HSRN, the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, another one of our proud sponsors for this event for the Hawaii Esports League Championship. And, of course, they actually have a podcast on there called the Hawaii Esports Pod.
Oh.
I know. That's pretty cool. I mean, and if you want to learn more, you can visit hawaiisportsradio.com. That is hawaiisportsradio.com.
Thank you.
I know. I mean, hey, we knew some people that had an esports podcast beforehand as well, a couple years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was not there.
Yeah, what was it called?
I was not conceived yet.
Like Squat Up, I think. I think it was called. It was a couple years ago. So some cool people that I know were on top of it. Yeah.
They're probably cringing at you right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they are. Let's be real. They are.
So. It's happening right now. We're using some magic on our end, which is why we're talking a little bit here.
But I love magic.
The games are going to be underway pretty quickly with the pick and bans. I'm interested if we're going to see some of the same bans that we saw in the first series, because if you think about it, when you have a sister team system, what you typically want is for the scrims to happen like in houses, where one team fights the other team. They kind of learn from each other. They might intermingle in terms of switching out members.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you're still one collective unit just working with each other, against each other, however you see fit. So we saw the Heckram ban. We saw the Nasus ban. We saw Silas, right? Are we going to be seeing these in the second series? What do you think?
For the band, I feel like we'll still stay with something like the Heckram and the Silas. Heckram and Silas are very good power picks no matter who gets it. Okay. Silas is such a strong mid laner, can get so much pressure around the map. And Heckram, time and time again, no matter the meta, he always surfaces up as a powerful jungler in the hands of a good players. And so far we've seen, I thought our first series was that the jungle plays such a big part for these teams, and it might be the similar situation for Iolani and for New Valley Tibbers.
That could definitely be the case. Two superstar junglers in our first series, each having their own, story to prove, so to speak. And, we always talk about the first component power spike. The lost chapters for the mages, the noon quivers. For Hecarim, that's Ionian boots, which is a really cheap 950, and that gives you all the stats you really need. As we see our players up here on the cameras discussing with the coaches what the draft is going to be like. First game is pretty important because if you win it, you're halfway there to the finals already. So you do want to make that first impression very, very strong. Of course, the series that we had previously was a reverse sweep.
Oh, yeah, technically, yeah, it was. I didn't realize that, yeah. That is a story to see, and we'll see if history repeats itself or there'll, be something new happening this time around.
I think it'd be kind of funny if Tibbers' team wins here, because then the finals would just be an in-house scrim, just for the highest stakes in-house scrim you've ever possibly had.
Technically, no, because New Valley Goon Squad.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of a different timeline,
but
completely different timeline.
Here we go. Iolani on the blue side, red side is the Tibbers. We're already into the pick and ban phase, and already Ilaoi banned out.
Yep. Very predictable. I talked about it to our producers and our observers and stuff. Test Spirit, the top laner for MVMS Tibbers, is the name of Malawi's E. So it makes sense.
Makes sense. So a one trick, if you will.
Yeah. So ban it out. Get rid of it. Alawi is super annoying anyway. We don't want to see any hullbreaker business going on over there. But Gragas going to be another one. So this could be potentially a really big focus on the top side. We kind of saw a little bit of that yesterday, or not yesterday, like earlier in the match in the series, where we had Target focusing on that top side because they were really worried about, I believe, I forget their name, but the Darius player trying to pop off.
The Gragas might have been a misclick. That's actually not supposed to be a ban, is what it looks like. So yeah, we'll ignore that. It's supposed to be something else, sadly. But yeah, Amumu banned out, Sion banned out. And Amumu is probably going to be a support ban, is my guesstimate.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to start over because our producer realizes that he has made the most fatal possible mistake.
If not, we'll just assume.
We'll assume?
We'll assume that's something else. And if, say for instance, that was a first pick Gragas, we'll be like, okay, that's Gragas for Test of Spirit, etc.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see, as I'm not cheating.
I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we can't talk about the bans that have happened so far. Lots of focus on that top side, lots of focus in that jungle.
Well, a lot of target bans on the opposite side.
Yeah, quite a bit. And I think the main thing to address here is that a lot of the bans that are happening are either target bans with a lot of damage, so you're hitting onto the carries, or there's a lot of CC involved getting that team fight situation all fixed up. So Amumu Sion obviously have really big area of effect CCs, but Set looks like is going to be the first pick here.
I like that. I like that.
How much do you like it? Scale of 1 to 10.
7 out of 10. But yeah, the Ezreal is supposed to be Gragas. Or this Ezreal is supposed to be Gragas. So yeah,
it's a swap.
It's a swap.
Okay,
yes.
so instead of picking Ezreal, it should have been an Ezreal ban, and it should be Gragas pick, just so the audience is aware. But we've been seeing Set throughout the day today.
Yeah.
And it's not been performing too well, I would say.
Not too well, unfortunately. I believe it was only 34 stacks of the...
It was not a lot.
It was not a lot. It was double digits.
It was under 200 by the end of the game.
But speaking of stacking, Henry, we do see the Kindred being locked in for Skull Sand, and we see the marks come to play and how Iolani will counteract that against Tibbers. But Sejuani with Irelia, name a more iconic duo for a mid-jungle.
Oh, yeah. And they're abiding once again by the damage types, right? Set, Irelia, both AD. Sejuani is focused on AP. And so we're seeing that diversity, and we're going to see it on the other side, just flipped AP, AD, AP. We talked about Kindred stacking, actually, earlier when we were talking about the stacking on Belveth and Nasus. But Kindred should have about a stack every 2 minutes, which sounds kind of crazy, but that's the high end of it.
That is high end.
A little bit lower would be about like every 1.5, maybe 1 minute. But you definitely want to have at least 7 stacks, because that is probably like when you become, quote, a champion. People like to joke about it.
Ooh.
4 stacks gets you to caster minion. 7 stacks get you to champion. Anything beyond that is crazier.
Bans so far, we see the Zeri ban, the Jinx ban, the Lucian ban, the Drake ban. There's a lot of 80 carry focuses. That is what's left. We do not know if that is going to be a Lux mid or Lux support. It is still up in the air, and it's probably be like an Aphelios ban or something along the lines of a Samira just maybe trying to take out these aggressive hyper carry 80 carries, and it's gonna be the Leona actually. So Aphelios still up, Samira still up, and we've seen time and time again Aphelios was banned throughout the whole series for series number 1, and it's gonna be Jin though.
Yeah, so I actually we were asking how many bans are going to transition through the second series, and we do see that Draven going through again. Azir would be an interesting hover. I don't think necessarily that that's going to be it.
I mean,
but
you can play Ziggs,
Jin,
but Azir bot lane. I would have went for something like Ziggs bot or a Brand bot if I want to go for some AP focus, but Azir is interesting because I believe it was picked in pro play at one point, but it didn't do too well though is the thing.
Okay, we're going to have to see what the finishing touches are just because there's a lot of damage coming out on the side of Team Tibbers. Not a lot of tankiness unless that Gragas pick decides to become, you know, just Everfrost into tank or maybe even a Jack shows. But yes, you see it. 2 stacking champions, the Senna and the Kindred coming out alive. It's my call. I will be very disappointed or I will be very happy. Senna's, just as a reminder, 5 per minute, 5 stacks per minute. That's on the high end.
True.
3 per minute is on the low end, though. So we do have a range of where we should be for high and low.
He's a Senna main. He knows.
I do know Senna. But I think, yeah, that Azir pick is not what we expected to see coming off for AP damage.
Yeah, like I've seen I think once or twice exactly, and both times didn't end up too well, especially against things like Senna and Jin. They will poke you out very early on and very much so, very aggressively. So I see how that plays out into this game because, Henry, this is only game number 1 of our semifinals too.
This is game number 1, and we're seeing 2 very different identities from what we saw in the first series. So either this is them showing, or either this is New Valley Tibbers showing we are not related to our sister team at all and we are an independent unit. But of course, we don't know what to expect from Iolani other than our typical pool from the high school scene. But these are pretty team-oriented picks. I think this Azir is meant to kind of be like a wild card, you know, the in-your-face, you don't know what to expect from us. But, you know, the Azir could play a bit aggressively and then just, you know, have the Thresh to pull it back.
He missed the bush. He missed the bush. Oh, no, our observer is zooming in on it too. Oh, it feels bad.
Sad.
But it does happen. But look at the rest of the board, though. So standards, pretty much standard item starts for all of them, except for the Gragas opting for that tier. So trying to go... Interesting, though. Going for the tier early on for Gragas. You just don't see that as the Gragas. Usually you see either the Doran's ring or going for, like, the Doran shield.
Could be Protector's Vow if you want to be the tank, because, you know, there's no tanks on that side.
True.
Could also be a Seraph's if you really want to go AP.
Hit you with that Thimble Winter.
I know. So we'll see what that leads to. I think the more interesting thing for me is that this Azir could have had 2 different paths going into this game. We know about the Q-Max, what's it called, Airy or Arcane Comet Slam, where you just do a bunch of damage straight up and you go into Luden's Tempest. But it looks like this is going to be an on-hit Azir with that Lethal Temple. I don't actually know how Lethal Temple works on the Sand Soldiers.
I don't recall either, but it's very interesting. So that says optimized that he will be going for more attack speed-oriented build early on. Let's see how that plays out, but definitely we see the split side starts for both of these junglers. Both often start on the blue. And now, because Sejuani as well, definitely probably see early gank towards the mid, especially with this. Irelia can stack very well with your passive, so they can be useful together. But to see what happens as, I love this name, Mix Stabby Stabbed.
Mix Stabby Stabbed.
Mix Stabby Stabbed.
I don't remember ordering that from my local burger eatery, but maybe I'll consider trying that the next time I go to one.
It's not the secret menu, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Just like the orange juice.
Orange is the secret menu?
I don't know.
They have orange juice, yeah. But let's look at the CS though. Pretty good CSC coming in from the Azir. I do want to see how this Thresh Chaotic Phoenix will play out. He has Glacial Augment, so if he lands the Death Sentence or he flays, it will be the slow, especially against a Senna and Jin, who are very, very squishy. It'd be very useful to see how Romanize will follow up with his counterpart.
Yeah, and very quiet game from the junglers thus far. It feels like there's a lot more action fighting among the mid laners than anything else. But yeah, it's lots of trading.
Every time we see Dark Slasher, he misses the E by a pixel. It's quite unfortunate, quite unfortunate. Oh, the Senna. He's missing the souls, Henry. How do you feel about that?
So he's kind of playing a bit passive, which it makes sense. You don't really know how to play against the Azir, so
he's
better to
taking
be
a lot
safe
of
than
CS.
sorry. But also that, oh wow.
He's taking all the CS from his Jhin.
Or maybe he's trying to split it. He's like, you know, I'm not going to get this one. You should get this one.
Okay, okay,
But
fair
also, when you play Senna support, if you're fasting the Senna, what you typically do want to do is give Senna all of the cannons. Because even though the cannon, if you don't kill it, it guarantees a soul. Hold that thought. As there is going to be a jungle exchange, Draco is going to secure the Scuttle Crab.
Okay, that's about it.
Okay.
That should be it.
That should be it, yeah. So Kindred actually very sad. I think that was one of the marks, yeah. So Kindred missing out
that's so
on that early game spike that you are very crucially going to need as a Kindred. But yeah, as I was saying, you do want Senna to have the economy, so you are going to have her take the cannon, even though you miss out on one of the souls. 50 to 70-ish gold is more than worth it all the time. As Skullsand going for a gank here, not going to find anything. As Irelia can just dash away from it.
Yeah, dashing away, and we'll see what the next mark spawns for this Kindred when it does happen. I do want to see what happened. Look at the mid lane though. Sejuani will get spotted out by the ward. And All-Star using a lot of mana to try and get some poke down top of Dark Slasher, but Dark Slasher, look at the CS differential right now, 32 to 18, so 2.5 wave advantage over to him. And similarly in bot lane as well, so just Iolani showing how smart they're playing, how very smart they're playing as Chaotic. Getting a little bit chaotic here with the hook will land.
Chaotic is going to land that hook. That Glacial slowing so much.
No.
And Draco missing the Glacial Assault, but it's not going to matter. First blood to the Seju.
Yeah, first blood to him. And I do want to say, for Killer, you probably should have saved your flash here because you knew you would have felt anyway because Sejuani was there and you don't have a Thresh. You don't have a Tom Kench that can save you in the situation, so you're just stuck there no matter what. Bit unfortunate, and now they know that there's no summoners available for Killer. No heal, no flash. There may be a return gank happening as Skullsand.
Skullsand getting bullied out of his own jungle. So unfortunate. Not having that first stack is proving very, very detrimental for this Kindred. And I wonder if Draco's going to be following those stacks throughout the entire map. But we saw it, you mentioned it earlier, a CS lead across the map in favor of Iolani. There's already a 1.2k lead. I mean, granted, First Blood did go over.
Oh, and you're talking about the Set early on, but Set getting casketed in.
Getting casketed in. Does have Showstopper, is going to have to use it as a defense mechanism. Flashes away. There it is. Test of Spirits showing that it's not just Alawi. Gragas can pack a punch.
Yeah, I guess can't pack a punch. Look at the other. Speaking of packing a punch, though, you have the Aegis built up for the Sejuani, which is pretty standard, but the Lost Chapter already in the pockets for the Azir as mid lane, the barrier propped.
Barrier has to be used. The E misses too. Vanguard's Edge just to go in for the engage, but all you need is a simple Blade Surge forward, and that's going to be a 2-0 lead for Iolani Middle School.
2-0 lead, and man, we're looking really good so far, especially in this Irelia, man. We know a decent amount of good Irelias, Henry. We know how strong this champion can be, especially in these crucial team fights and these tight corridors. You just use your ultimate and you can get so much slow, so much damage. Top of them is all the resets. And this might be how the story unfolds for this squad.
And we know how the matchup with Lux obviously goes. You mentioned how the L-Star is just using so much mana. You have to keep this Irelia at arm's length. Otherwise, it's going to be very easy. We saw how simple that engage was. Level 6, boom, 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 and it was done. So, moving forward, going to have to think about using the Q a little bit more conservatively. Maybe, I don't know how that's going to go once the Alawi is, I keep saying Alawi. I keep looking at Test of Spirit and I keep saying Alawi. How the Irelia is going to work out in that matchup. If jumping in might be too late to react for that Lux.
I'm just imagining everyone having their names of their abilities, like Death Sentence, you have the Shuffle, and no, but here we go, another fight.
Yeah, Skull Sand is just getting bullied, but Romanize actually getting the kill onto the enemy ADC. Draco's claiming another one. And this is going to be a super early first item for the Sejuani coming out very soon. The Aegis does mean that's either going to be, as hold that thought, as another E connects, all the CC connecting here, and it's just free and easy for the mid laner.
We talked about the combination of Sejuani and Irelia. It's so immense because you auto attack so fast as Irelia, and it just lets the passive of her Draco stack up that much faster and just CC chain kingdom, really.
And Irelia finally got the name correctly. Gets healing off of Q, gets healing off of Bork, which is usually an Irelia's first item. That is a lot of healing and sustain.
Wait, I think he got it with the... Is he?
Did he?
I think he did. I saw plus 70 something.
Okay.
Hey, we take those.
Proud of him.
But your point earlier you're talking about.
Yeah, so all of that sustain that the Irelia is able to just inherently have. If you're behind this Lux, you don't want to be spending 800 gold to build your Grievous Wounds, but at the same time, if you don't, you won't be able to catch up in the tempo of health that this Irelia is going to have no matter how much you poke down this Irelia. So instead of having to, you know, fend them off, Draco finding himself in a 1v2 situation though, has to flash out. That's going to be an miss from the Lux, but everything landing on Skullsand, who's trying to catch ahead, has to use the Lamb's Respite, but abilities are just not landing, and the bot lane roams up. There's the scoop. There's going to be 2 more kills to this Irelia's pocket. Dark Slasher so far ahead.
4-0-0. We're just witnessing the Hawaiian faker, if you will.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah,
the middle school
Hawaiian faker, yeah.
What a long title.
Yeah. What was that? Middle school, so MSHF?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's too long.
Yeah,
that's basically a team name.
It's basically a team. That is way too long. But nice rotation play coming in from Romanize and Chaotic. And they read it early. They pushed in the wave, so it was crash in. So Turtle, along with Killer, had to catch that. And it was the wall, the Shurima shuffle coming in to make sure Lux cannot get away from this Irelia. And 4-0-0, that is such a good early lead for him. But we had to talk about, though, Draco staying alive with a double-digit HP at the end there.
It was so close, and a little bit greedy from Skullsand. You saw that flash aggressively forward, not even able to do anything because he was already slowed by the Vanguard's Edge from the Irelia. Now finally going to get his mark on the Scuttle Crab. God bless his soul.
Amen.
I think he's at a whopping, there it is, 2.
Hey, 2 is better than 1. We'll take that. As McStabby's stabbed.
He smells something fishy. Yeah, he knew it because obviously Kindred has to go for these marks or he's going to be super weak. Already is very behind, but obviously 7 stacks is your goal throughout the entire game. Hopefully not going to achieve it far too late.
Oh, bot lane.
As bot lane is taking some poke and has to use that heal. This is the first AD carry to take heal today.
That is is your fun fact of the day. Probably the only heal for the rest of this stuff.
Probably the only heal. Draco going to find Skullsand once again. Only needs 1 more proc to get that E active, and there it is. 2 people being shoved back by the Facebreaker, but good barrel. Is it going to mean anything? No. McStabby just slams him into the ground.
Slams to the ground, and Glacial was still available as well for the prison. He wanted to use it to lock them down, but no. But said going for the smart play, going for the Herald.
It's right there, you know? No point in, you know, going too far. Dragon's not even up anyway.
Yeah,
so getting that early Herald. I think this is going to be a mid lane place. Already 2 turrets down in favor of Dark Slasher, so might as well crack that open and move the vision up.
Yeah, you let Dark Slasher roam around the map now, help out the side lanes, and it's time for our usual bet, Henry. So we see Mountain Drake, we see Inferno Drake already out. What's the soul?
Can I count on it being Ocean again? As hold on, instead of Ocean, this guy's getting frozen L-Star with nowhere to go. The ult still connects. It's going to be a flash forward, and the auto finishes it off 5-0 for this Irelia.
Hawaiian Faker. That's a 2.5K gold lead in the pocket for him as well. 0-4-0 for L-Star. Not looking too good for you, buddy, as this will be so much gold in the pockets of Dark Slasher.
Wow. Not just the first turret, but also a second charge. So getting that really big advantage in that mid lane. And poor Skullsand can't do much. He's really behind on Kindred.
A little bit.
Can't really do much until that Mythic is done, but has been farming it up, keeping it close, only about 10 CS down. If you look at it as compared to the mid laner and the AD carry, those are a lot of deeper numbers. Those trenches are seemingly abyssal.
Oh, but Henry, all this talking, get me a little hungry, a little thirsty, and you know what sounds pretty good right now?
A bit.
Aloha Island Mart, you know, the snack line is pretty good. I know they have a booth over here so you can get some good quality snacks, some good quality water, and just, you know, quench the hunger, quench the thirst.
I do know this because our friend Chris really loves the Mogu Mogu drinks. I know Island Mart happens to have them.
There you
Might
go.
get myself one of those.
Yeah, Island Mart, just get some Mogu Mogu drinks. We all love that as a stream of Shuffle.
Oh.
Yeah,
he's dead. There's nothing to say.
Yeah.
This is unlucky.
All you just play the sad music. Hello, darkness, my old friend, ×2.
The sad horn. Yeah. Wow, this is the shellacking. Iolani came to perform today.
Yep.
We didn't get to see them last semester. Maybe they didn't have the infrastructure in yet, but goddamn, they are putting on a bit of a show here. 11, huh?
The death sentence almost landed on Jin. Jin almost died there.
Wow. It's crazy to say, but the Senna's doing the best. That's what we like to see.
Not biased, not biased, of course.
Not biased at all.
Not biased at all, not biased
I mean,
at all.
11 kills at 14 minutes. I believe that's 1, 2, 3. There's like 7 plates as compared to 0. That's pretty good.
That is more than good. That is simply great.
Great showing of this early game. Draco pushing the lead in the enemy jungle because he knows he can be there because this Kendra's just too far behind.
A little bit, yeah, a decent amount. 2.5k gold. Same, but mid lane as well, though 3.5. It's just immense gold lead that if you are the red team, if you are New Valley Tibbers, you have to try and do something. Or if you're already drained out from this game, you got to think about what to do for game number 2. Because like we just mentioned, it's a best of 3. First to 2 wins, gets a series, gets the semifinals, and books a ticket to the grand finals. As Mountain Drake will be spawning.
Oh yes, we got to make our bets now.
Yeah. So you said Ocean.
Huh?
You said Ocean, right?
No, I said can I bet on Ocean?
You can if you want to.
I bet on it so many times.
I'll bet on Hextech.
Okay, I'll bet on Chemtech.
All right.
Just because that's what we did last time. That's what we did last time. Don't hold my hand. That's weird.
It is going to be...
We won't know.
Go back.
Tanner, come on now.
Go back, Dragon.
Show me what dragon it is.
It's Cloud.
Never mind. Don't show me what dragon
Don't show. We don't know. But because, though, look at this. I also want to point out, it is TP, by the way, for this Azir. I don't believe he's used it just yet, either.
I don't think so. I think this is, looking at it, this is a third side laner, technically.
Yeah.
For Iolani's composition, which is pretty interesting. We don't typically see 3 champions that are able to side lane just because AD carries aren't usually that. But the engage is just far too easy for Dark Slasher. The APM is there.
He has hands, we don't. He has the hands, but look at this bot side as well. 135 CS to 91 CS. Across the board, pretty much. It is just truly a big lead. But yeah, for New Valley, it's still a possibility, though. You see the setup slowly stacking up on the stacks, really. And and we all know how tough Senna can be in the late game. So that is one point of contention for New Valley, but they have to be careful with the positioning, especially you have to worry about worry about the set, worry about the Azir. All 3 of these carries can get behind you and sort of make you go into their team. Like Irelia will slow you down, Set had the showstopper, Azir had the shuffle. It is all on the line, so you have to be careful. And especially against a Kindred with the shuffle, you can take everyone out of that and make them die as a flash off of Skull Sand.
Skull Sand is so sad. He just wants his stack on the Scuttle Crab. He's been at 2 stacks for the whole game. This is just so... It's so sad.
That was a Flux Laser.
Kind of happy that you mentioned the Senna, though, just because Senna is the AD source of damage so far of what it looks like right now. But this Gragas has been keeping up pretty well. Yes, he died 1 time, but he has Rod of Ages. It's stacking up. I'm going to assume this is going to be a Saras because I think they're like, yeah, the Lux is not going to be providing the AP damage for a while. Got to cover that myself. So this Gragas is technically even. The rod stack's coming in.
I mean, hey, you can say he has a lot of spirit.
It's real. This is truly a test of his spirit and
his
mental.
True, exactly. Yeah. But we do see a lot of movement or rotation play coming in from Iolani around the top side. They want to try something, but instead they backed off. Herald will be spawning in a couple of seconds from here. as mid lane, Thresh and Irelia, the duo together against Kindred and this Lux. But yeah, Azir, you have all your summoners up. You have the Shurima Shuffle. It is a possibility you can get away no matter what. And yeah, Herald should be easy pickings.
You're going to go for the second Herald of the game. Obviously, Herald, the second one at the very least, does not guarantee you any plates.
True.
Because this one has to spawn at the very least after the plates fall. So not going to be as big of a catalyst of gold as already is, but if you look at the gold lead on the top, it's already 10,000.
Oh no.
Skull Scan gets hit by another one, drags L-Star with him as collateral. Oh man.
Slow.
Glacial Prison does not land, but like you said, it is a slow, it is a blade surge forward, and Chaotic Phoenix wants a little bit of that
He
cake.
wants a little bit of that smoke. You know, he's been 0-0-4 for a while, so now 1-0-5 on the board. I mean, hey, you like to see that as they're just pushing
I
in.
think this is Herald.
This is Herald. They can push in, and they should be able to get Inhibitor turret. I'm not sure if they're going to go for Inhibitor, though. Is it a bit of a question? As CP going for top lane, Gragas wants to do something else.
Gragas trying to... Oh, they actually preserved the crash. So this is going to be a full health Herald going into the Inhibitor. Takes it down for free.
Turrets?
If they can get a charge onto a Nexus turret, this could potentially be the end of the game. Skullstand does get hit. That's the charge forward. If they can take that turret down, otherwise they will regenerate back to a third, but they are going to fall back. Hook not going to land. Test of Spirit has arrived on the Gragas. Body Slam is going to land into the Deadly Flourish. Party Barrel into the middle of everybody. They are finally going to take one out. Skullstand going to claim that one for himself. McStabby Stab has to take the exit stage left, but no perfect game.
No perfect game, sadly. But it is what it is. You see the Gale Force finally built up for this Jhin. Still waiting for that Lux to get her Mythic. 071 has played its Steel Capture, and that is how much aggression from this guy. Oh, why'd you gotta do that to him, Tanner? Why'd you gotta zoom in the body? Look, SMH, dude. SMH.
He's the support too, man. he got left behind in the dust.
Support matters, man.
That's
support
a little
matters.
unfair.
But look at this. Bork built up for both top and mid for Iolani Middle School. Well, the Radiant Virtue, you mentioned it earlier, Radiant Virtue is such a phenomenal item for Sejuani to have, especially with such an aggressive team like how Iolani is.
Very, very aggressive, and they've just been able to take every neutral objective because of those advantages that they've accrued through their laning phase, through their side lanes, and they've put a lot of people very behind. Like you said, played at Steel Caps just because the Irelia is too scary. And this Lux is now stuck on poor wave clear duty in the base. Otherwise, they're going to start losing Nexus turrets. So we did mention taking an inhibitor super early does mean that you lose the ability to farm for that specific wave.
Oh, Azir.
But there's the shuffle onto the Jhin. He's as good as dead. Flashes out, though. Uses the Gale defensively. And that's going to be the W coming out from the Lux, or from the Senna, to ensure that the Jin's life stays intact.
You know what, Henry? Anaranka reminds me of? Reminds me of a UH team comp.
What do you think?
Reminds me of a UH team comp, doesn't it? Irelia, you have an AP bot laner, you have a... It's not a Syndra support, but it's a Thresh support still.
Oh, you're going to have to hold that thought as that was a double stun onto the Irelia E, and it's just cleanup duty here in the jungle. Blue side quadrant now littered with red as some bodies are falling and continuing to do so. I wouldn't be surprised if Iolani are going to call it here. They're going to take that Baron, maybe segue it into a game end, because U Valley, they are down for the count right now. They've been stuck in their base just dealing with this one wave.
Dealing with one wave, but a TP coming in from Romanize. Romanize wants this kill, Henry.
Well, they're not going to get away too much. Actually punts the Sejuani in the wrong direction, so very unlucky there, but... Yeah, this Gragas was probably the closest they were getting to in terms of even laning state with that lane opponent. And man, if I were the coach for New Valley, I would not even be able to kind of dissect this game. It all came from the farm advantage, the CS advantages that we talked about from the early stages. Seeing everybody be down 20 at such an early time. There's no gold necessarily that gets into that or I should say there's no kills that kind of factor into that gold lead. So that was all just from pure gold generation. But not only that, I feel like this Kindred pick didn't really do itself justice. Already kind of tampered from level 1, couldn't get that Scuttle's crab stack super early. So, man, here it goes again.
They see it, Henry. They know he's there.
They know he's there. They're just going to walk up to him. Are they even going to use the ultimates? They're not, which means he does get to live for the time being. He's going to poke around, but has to flash out. Wow. That's a 5-minute cooldown.
But in a bit of a predicament, though. Look at the rest of the blue team. They're waiting. They're priming, ready to fight. And this one should be the game-winning push, Henry. 18-1. Iolani pushing on the doors, the base, and here we go. Oh.
The Haymaker just takes them out, but it's a trade 1-for-1. The Vanguard's Edge does link onto all 4 members as Dark Slasher just ends up cleaning house just to scoop them away from the Nexus turrets, but that's going to be it. Nobody's left alive to defend. To compensate for the 3-hour series earlier, a 24-minute finish. Game number 1, Iolani, they're going to take it.
They're going to take it. There we go. Easy peasy, Iolani. Got the first point halfway there, like you said earlier. They can do it. There we see them, Iolani Middle School.
And we talked about it, how the winner of the first matchup, they get to see this best of series unfold before their very eyes. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous for the other team.
Yeah, slightly nervous, but what's the thing to counteract this aggression from Iolani? Is it counter-aggression, or are you playing a lot more passively? That is the question.
I think playing passively is not the move here. I think that's what they did here in game number 1, and that's what led to these CS leads accruing. That's what led to eventually item components ahead into all of these different advantages that Iolani had. I think you up the ante here. You double or nothing. It's your back's against the wall. You got to match this aggression.
Give it your all.
Give it your all. And if you're falling behind a farm, make up for it in kills. And let's see. I want to see if New Valley are able to do it, or if both teams are just going to fall in semis.
Well, we have to wait and see, because that was only game number 1 of the semifinals. As we go to a short break to prep up for game number 2, we'll see if New Valley can come back, or if Iolani will take it all. We'll see you guys very soon. Don't go anywhere. There we go. Same size, actually. Iolani opting, or sorry, Tibbers opting for the red side this time around. So they want to get that counter pick for last, as we see it again.
Yes.
Iolani be banned out towards Test of Spirit.
And something to keep in mind, right? We saw this in the first series where they subbed out somebody despite winning, and it did not go well because they ended up losing the series.
Hey, but it didn't happen this time.
But there's no subs out this time. And in fact, it's the same side. It's the same 10 players. I would be very surprised if we went through the same bans, because obviously you're going to need to take out Irelia, the biggest problem there.
Question is, though, will they ban that core, that Sejuani as well, you think?
I don't think Sejuani is warranted for a ban. If they're going to pick some tanky engage like that, you can answer it with a Maokai. You can answer it with a Vi. There's a lot of options that match that tankiness while also providing the CC.
But you know what we have to ban, just because our producers here? They have to ban Gragas. Or ban Gragas, you know.
I don't know. I don't think.
As a meme, you know, to our producer who accidentally banned it last time on our low draft.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, that's how it works. As Sion is going to be banned, along with the Sejuani. So it seems like they're targeting what happened last game. But since that's happened, you are letting go all the picks that you banned last time around. That sort of comfort for, you know, all these players like Draco, like Dark Slash, like McStabby Stab, as the same bans be coming out from Iolani all throughout the board, the Illaoi, the Sion, and the Evelyn, so they know the comfort for those 2 players.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ban the same thing
Amen.
out. And I don't know if Tibbers is going to go for the salty ban back, where they go through all of the bans of the people that, you know, they just played against. That would force Iolani to kind of show new cards as to whether, you know, they have a second champion up their sleeve that they can perform to the same caliber that they just did against the Tibbers team. But
let's see what's up. Oren's up. Darius is up. A lot of these big front lines. Shen could be a potential frontline unit as well for Iolani, for McStabby Stab. But see how aggressive it is. Darius would be a really good pickup for him. Instead, it would be the Malphite. Not really a stabbing, but more of a throwing a giant rock at you.
Recently nerfed in the Thunderclap department, so not as good in terms of the trades. But I think this is something that would be fine to match up against. I don't think this is going to be a problem unless, I don't know, McStabby is feeling himself and decides to build, a Night Harvester.
He gets like a giant sword to stab them further.
But I was just going to mention that the Gragas is a totally fine matchup into it. You sustain innately through your passive, so you can do these short trades with the Malphite anyway.
They heard you. They listened. No Kindred.
Yeah, no Kindred. Thank God. Look at this. Good early game tank that can skirmish up with stuff like Sejuani's, like Maokai's. And now I'm very happy because now you're either going to have a full AP Malphite on the other side, or you're going to have a good source of, what's it called, reduction coming in from the Malphite armor, from the J4.
Now, if this J4 is locked in, though, I want to see what they pair it up in the mid lane, because there's Orianna, there's this Galio, a lot of the Twombo combination to come into play. So there's a possibility if they want to go for in that scenario. Diana is another going to pair up with this Jarvan to go in to lock them up with the Moonfall, and it lets Malphite as well come in. So a lot of knockups, a lot of damage, and if this is locked in, oh boy, for Tibbers, that is a very, very scary frontline to go against.
That's now 3 ultimate targets that hit in a circle. So just don't be in that specific range.
Okay.
I think you're going to want to draft some range at this point.
And that's some range.
Lux could be something. We did see the Lux from the last game. It wasn't too great, but that's just because Alawi Irelia, again,
you love
my goodness, just sticks to you like glue. Diana, luckily for you, only really has that one dash unless you get the reset on, so a lot easier to itemize against. I do think it's still going to be a barrier flash coming out from the Lux.
Yeah,
I would like to see a teleport, though.
I agree, but against a Diana, this barrier might be useful. But look at the rest of the bands, so probably go opting towards those 80 carry bands again, the Jinx, the Lucian, the Aphelios. But Leona, they really want to see this Leona coming in from Turtle.
Yeah, no Leona whatsoever. Counter engage is very dangerous, and they're trying to keep, take out all the healing sources, take out all the crazy damage sources. That way you can't keep this team super healthy.
Not just healing, though. The ultimate will pair up so well with this Jarvan ultimate with Diana going in with the Moonfall. It is so good. And take away this Jinx, as you mentioned earlier in the last semifinals, you have a Caitlyn, but the Jinx range is also very phenomenal, so you have to take that out of the table. And we saw, when you just get excited, you start popping off more and more, and you mentioned that Caitlyn is still up. So Caitlyn with Lux pairs up very well. Even though if it's a mid lane Lux, it still pairs up really well with this Caitlyn. Yeah,
and we just mentioned how Iolani should be targeting all of these high-range picks so that you can, avoid those abilities that are on the left side of your screen. Jinx taken off the table. Unfortunately, they didn't want to invest too much into the ADC department and go Kate Jinx bans out, because then you have stuff like, any dashy champions left available. So Caitlyn is going to be claimed. Samira, though, a very deceptive pseudo counter.
It's another circle.
Caitlyn. Another circle.
So Morgana's next, right?
Any circle champions that are supports?
No, that's like a pentagon.
Yeah, but a pentagon is just a rough circle.
All right, have fun casting by yourself. But anyway, so that's going to be locked in. So that is a very aggressive overall team comp, not just a bot lane. Samir Thresh do really well together, but if you have Diana come down, if you have the J4 come down, they just want to go. There's no backing up. There's only, if this is Valorant, you just hold the W key down. You just take it down with some tape.
Melio.
He's debating me, isn't he? He's debating me. It's not locked in. It's not. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's part of Morgana or something.
Melio.
Let's go. It's Melio. Okay, so Melio.
Yeah.
Melio.
Tell me about him.
So a lot of things he do. So the W, that's how they extend the range. It doesn't pair up with RFC though. So if this Caitlyn does go for the RFC, it doesn't stack up with it. It only goes for your. It only extends your base auto range actually.
Okay.
Along with the E as well. So any ability that passes through your teammates will actually give you that burn effect. So that's why a lot of times you see this E no matter what. Like for Caitlyn, right before the auto hits, if it's a headshot, you throw the E on top of him and do more burn damage percentile over time.
Okay. Now, I like the Melio in all of the other games that we've seen before, just because they always have had some form of really good engage, very reliable engage, like the Alistar, the Diana. We've been seeing them throughout today.
Yes.
Very unfortunately for Turtle in this game in particular, is that, yes, one Thresh, but I was going to more so say you can't stop the Malphite, but L-Star.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And it goes to the Samira, so that... Oh my goodness.
I mean, one of the hard things too against Melio, if you do get hooked, you can't really use the kick against the Thresh because he'll just follow it no matter what. So it's very hard to do that in that scenario. But against the J4, against Diana, when they try to jump in on top of you, you can counteract that with your kick, even with the Samir dash as well. So that's some things to look out for. But Thresh, one of the big counters against pretty much all these hook champions, the Blitzcrank, the Nautilus, the Thresh, everyone's some of the biggest threats for them.
Yeah, and my producer had to walk over here just to flame our caster.
All right, buddy.
He didn't get it until okay.
All right, but yeah, I want to see how this plays out though. Like I keep on mentioning, so again, Greg is starting with that tier early on, so stacking for that Fimble one, or just having a tier early. Did he complete his tier item last game?
He did not even complete the tier last game, to my recollection.
Yeah.
But this does show that he's probably going to go the same thing. So we're going to expect the Rod of Ages into the Seraphs for this Gragas. I mean, they don't really need a second tank because Skull Sand is now playing that role for us on the side of the New Valley Tibbers team. But, you know, that first blood going over to the Samira, not too crazy. That's just going to be a longsword and maybe an extra potion. But this aggression coming in, Romanized, not going to get too much done because they're not level 2. So preemptively scaring.
I would like to see the Melio take heal in this scenario instead of the Ignite, and you have the Caitlyn, with the Exhaust or even the Cleanse against this team, because you really don't need Ignite as this Melio, as level 2 should be prompting up just so.
Oh no.
That hit?
That hits onto the Melio, and that's going to confirm it because Melio was the furthest one out. Not going to invest the flash here. Wait, he actually does.
I respect it.
Romanize gets executed, though.
Respect it. And the hook did actually hit on top of the Caitlyn, actually, not the Melio. That's why they were able to get him early on. Melio was forced to get out. It was a little bit weird. It looked like it was supposed to hit Melio, but instead went for Caitlyn. But yeah, very good. And the execute, though, Melio not getting that last auto attack on top of the Caitlyn, you know, not on top of the Samira. So being more passive in that scenario. You mentioned trying to get more aggressive against his team. But it's looking like a lot more passive play style still from New Valley Tibbers. You have the Lux, you have the Caitlyn Emilio, and sure you can get some extra poke, but against a thing like a Samira and Thresh, you have to play a lot more passively.
Well, I was thinking that they could push the level 1 advantage just a little bit more. Obviously, with Melio, you typically get Q first, right? You can use that as a
50-50 in that scenario.
You can use it as an avenue for poke, get that advantage in level 1, prove that, yes, they have a Thresh, but if either of them get hooked, then the other person will just be in range to hamper them down anyway. Take that level 1 trade, because you know as soon as Samira Thresh hit level 2, it becomes a lot more detrimental. And so now we have the Samira with a Vamp Scepter in hand already, and it's pretty tough, you know? You're not going to be able to put down the Samira as effectively, so going for Thresh is going to be a little bit difficult. It's just going to come down to whether they can put that aggression to the test, because I think they're going to need to.
Yeah, and against this kind of lane as well, I would have opted for a Relic Shield in the case of Turtle instead going for the Spell Thieves, because you know how aggressive this is. If you try to go in to try to poke them out, they will over-aggress on top of you and potentially kill you. So going for the Relic Shield might have been smarter in this kind of scenario instead of the Spell Thieves, in my opinion.
We're going to have to see. I guess the laning phase has stabilized quite a bit.
Yes.
We will mention that. So Tibbers team not looking, you know, too far down right now, but 3 kills is starting to follow the format of game number 1. Hopefully Skull Sand could start getting onto Summoner's Rift in more visible areas, so then they can start making plays here. Pushing a little bit more aggressively is Turtle, but there is a hook. It's not going to land. Yeah, look at these early skirmishes. I like seeing this on the side of New Valley.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. As bot lane, we do see the Trundle in the river. We'll get spotted out by that Scryer's Orb, and you know, the Troll in the river. And he was able to snatch away the Scuttle Crab from Draco. Let's see how he counteracts that now. Still spotted out in the river, trying to get a gank in the mid lane, or even try to get a cheeky invade, but Dark Slasher a little bit low with the pillar can screw him up. The pillar, he should be fine.
Needs the flash.
Has to flash, but
what?
The flash in place coming in from him? What just happened?
Skullson just tried to predict the flash that never happened, and Dark Slasher with the Challenger juke of just standing still.
He flashed in his place, though. I'm speechless.
I think that was a spectator bug. Maybe a spectator
Hopefully,
bug.
I
I'm
don't
going to
know.
give him the benefit
Our
of the
replay
doubt.
obs was a little screaming over there.
Oh. Well, I mean, that was a bad play regardless of what ended up happening, you know, because you didn't get the kill. You also died, so not the best situation.
A little bit unfortunate.
Did say I like the early aggression. Maybe tone it down a little bit now.
Yeah, 110%, go to like 90% now, if anything.
95, 95, yeah. You're there. I do like this aggression.
Yes.
Just don't throw yourselves at them, per se.
Yeah, don't throw yourself. Vamp Scepter already picked up for this Samira, so once that Immortal Shield Bow is, you know, opting into play, we saw how it was recently. But yeah, that's how it happens, though. But Vamp Scepter, once it does happen, oh.
Yep. I'd say game state is still pretty stable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, compared to game 1, this is a big improvement, you know?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Even though there is 4 kills over, the fact that New Valley are putting themselves on the map and making their presence known, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And you can see it, right? Top side going for this trade. Oh. Might be a bit even here. Body Slam is coming out, but Flash, Thunderclap, he lost vision. The Q did not go through, and Test the Spirit lives another day. That's what I'm saying. We take those.
And I believe Casket was used earlier as well. That's why Malphite was so low and just a re-engage, but it's just a wet noodle fight in top lane.
It is.
Wet noodle fight. Hey, there's a kick. You love to see it from
Yeah. Goal. I did promise you a goal.
You did promise me a goal, and that is a sort of opportunity for Chaotic Phoenix to go in, because if it's down, but oh no.
Oh, Skullsand arriving at the right place at the right time, going to try to finish off this Malphite before Test of Spirit falls. That's going to be it. Graph stack and 400 gold. No, 300 gold. 300 gold to the pockets of the Trundle, and that is what we like to see, that jungle presence being known, and this Trundle pick is proving so much better.
I mean, that's what we talked about. It's all about the jungles this game. They all have to make all the pressure, and it's working really well so far, I want to say. But the bot lane, you do have to keep an eye out, though. Roman Eyes, big threats, 2-1-1, doubling the CS of his counterpart. So, hey, that's some good math right there.
Now, we did say it. If you fall behind the CS, try to get some kills. Maybe call Skullsand down for a little visit into the bot lane. Get some Chaos Ruin in there. And, I mean, Samira cannot win wall the pillar.
No,
you know?
No.
So stop her in the tracks. Maybe if you can catch the Thresh, that's even better, so then there's no Lantern out. There's avenues to get back into this game, obviously, because of how early it is. But we are going to see a skirmish around the Dragon. Skullsand getting hooked early. Not going to have any ultimate to press, though. And that's going to be a final spark being used, but the Infernal Trigger also active, relying on the Blast Pant to get away to safety. And Romanize is going to give him the homie stock.
Hey, nice barrier, though. The barrier did come off in dividends out there, just, you know, canceling out all the Infernal Trigger damage. But it's only a Vamp Scepter for this AD carry. Once Immortal Shield Bow is built up, it'll be a lot more scary. As, oh, rest in peace, Melio, you'll be missed.
That's going to be the Melio falling. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I didn't know that was the Winter Diana skin. That actually looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie.
That was a Wombo combo. We talked about it. The Wombo, the combo.
There were 4 people there.
A lot of circles.
Yes.
A lot of circles. We like shapes.
Yes. I do like those.
But 3-1-3 for this Samira. Now look at that. Immortal Shield Bow finally completed for her. And below her, we do see the Thresh with the Moby Boots. So probably see a lot more rotational plays coming in from this Chaotic Phoenix.
Yeah, and so I know you're the Melio expert. I have not seen games of Melio myself, but I do see an Aegis being built. I wonder if that's going to be...
Radiant Virtue?
Yeah, that's what I was going to think also. Radiant Virtue does provide a little bit of healing along with the cleanse, right? That aura of healing could keep an entire team sustained, sort of like a mobile Janna ultimate, if you will.
I would say you should opt more towards that Kindle Gem more, just because of the cooldown reduction for you. As a 10% cooldown reduction, that works really well early on, especially you want to get your kick up as much as possible, your W as much as possible, so you can have these longer range fights for Killer King here. But let's see what happens, though, because potentially it could be that, or they could randomly opt towards a lock, which I've never really seen on Emilio as much.
Ooh, that's another option. You're absolutely
But against all this damage, shields might be coming in helpful. But with wait and see. Radiant Virtue might work well, but with your ultimate being such a long cooldown, I'm not too much towards it.
Now, we talked about items for the Mythic for Caitlyn before. We talked about it earlier today. Do we think we're going to see a Gale or Kraken? As I'll give you some time to think about it. As we're going to just ragdoll ourselves back and forth. McStabby is going to be fine. Does have to invest his ultimate, but it's a trade with the Gragas.
Unstoppable, by the way.
Unstoppable.
But yeah, I would say Gale Force, actually.
Okay.
I think Gale Force is this kind of comp to totally get away from the enemy team, but Flag and Drag.
But Skullsand is going to get caught here, is not going to choose to use his flash. Does it now, but Dark Slasher can chase. The Ignite is ticking. I believe it's going to be enough. And now L-Star in a sticky situation. I believe the Flag and Drag is up. There it is. And that's going to be another one for the mid laner.
Double kill for him. Yeah. Well, has the Hextech Alternator, though, to see what he builds from. There probably another, we saw last time it was a Proto Belt, so it might be the same thing.
Could be, could be. And I'm expecting, we talked about it earlier, Bethesda Spirit on the Gragas should be building the same things too. Rod of Ages, there we go. Seraphs, there we go. I'm expecting the Rod of Ages a little bit earlier than last game, actually, just because of how equal the laning state has been. He's a bit stuck in there.
Yeah, I give him props still for trying to go for that steal.
He's going to try to fight his way out, but it's not going to work out too well. Test of Spirit not going to be able to save him. But some skirmishing on the spot side. Going to use the Cozy Campfire to their advantage and take the Chaotic Phoenix down to half HP. Just that's it for the time being. But another engage into that mid area, and that's going to be the Aurora Borealis coming down. And so is that Inferno Trigger. Romanize going to top it off with another one.
I'm pretty sure based on minimap location, it was Emilio that did get hooked by the Descendants of Chaotic Phoenix, and he was still close enough to Killer that the Flay did land on top of him as well, so the double slow scenario. And that is going to be first turret going over to Iolani. And I do want to point out, so with the Cozy Campfire, that's another ability that as it keeps you inside of it, it keeps on ticking and healing you. That is how you get more passive immediately on top of you, so you get more burn effects with every single auto attack from this Caitlyn.
Yeah, so everything from Milio, as long as it hits, lands on one of their allies, it will proc that passive, that baby Leandri's burn, I like to call it.
Baby burn.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if that is going to work out for this team, because we do see Mythic starting to come online for Iolani's squad. We do have that Rod of Ages, and oh yeah, we did mention it, that Night Harvester potential coming out from the Diana, but there it is.
That's an Eclipse for a J4. This man wants to scrap. He wants to fight.
He wants to fight. Cooldown.
True, the Flag and Drag cooldown will be immense, especially with the Cataclysm on the back end, especially once Moonfall is up, Cataclysm up, but Dark Slasher might just get Skull Sand.
Skull Sand in a sicky situation. The Flay is going to go the wrong way, but the Death Sentence does land true. And
the
Dark Slasher
doesn't matter. I think that was just for the slow from the Glacial Augment, so it didn't matter if he played the wrong way or not. He just wanted to make sure he did get the Flay off, so it'll let Dark Slasher catch up to, secure that kill.
Okay, and that dragon fight with the jungler being down does mean another dragon. We didn't make a bet this time, although I wouldn't have bet.
I would have said something like Inferno, honestly.
So we'll mutually agree we were both wrong. Yes, we'll handshake on it.
But
that handshake is not going to be too fond for the AD carry of New Valley, as Turtle is going to tank the full brunt of that. Uses the campfire to heal up a little bit, but both of the bot laners now at half health. The junglers, though, might come up to meet each other, as Skullsand going to face Dark Slasher, not expecting Draco from the opposite side of the wall. And that's going to be another one in favor of Iolani.
Another one bites the dust. Melio is back, and so Killer. Oh, Killer's going to get dove here. Killer is in trouble. Killer is gone.
Oh, Hoke actually does miss. That is going to be aggro claimed by Chaotic Phoenix, but he will live with one tower shot to spare. Well, yeah. Very, very close, though.
Very smart, very calculated dive there. A little bit unfortunate that it was staggered recalls coming in from the bot lane of New Valley Tibbers. And just going for more and more. The Binding does land on one.
Binding does land on the Malphite. Are you going to use the Subjugate to start draining the defenses? Answer is going to be no. They want to save it for a more crucial team fight.
It's actually on cooldown.
Oh, it's on cooldown.
Yeah, it's on cooldown. I got you, buddy. No worries.
They are technically still saving it for
They
a
are?
more
Yeah,
crucial
true.
team fight, though.
I mean, what is up right now? What it can be taken soon? 4 minutes, 20 seconds for that Baron. Still 3:30 for that Dragon after getting the chase on top of Dark Slasher.
But they are going to try, see what they can do. Jesus! That was the Night Harvester.
Oh, yeah,
he's going back in for a second round. He says, I'm not done. Procs the Ignite. Draco joining in for the fight. Going to be a slow chase down. Another Q landing would do it.
Oh.
Just kidding. Wow.
If he had Demonic Embrace, that would have been a kill.
Ah. No, needs more stacks.
True. Oh, no. Just run. Just run, homie. Just run. Just get out of there.
Ah, there we go.
Hey.
Get some Comet stats in there. They're barreling down this mid lane, though, which does leave Test of Spirit with the opportunity to push out that top side and potentially grab an objective bounty here.
Well, look at the pings, though, coming in from Iolani. They may give up this turret, but they do want to try to get the kill here. But no, the turret will not follow just yet. Oh, Test of Spirit.
Phoenix in the vicinity. Not going to get anything, though. Just buying time for Draco to arrive en suite with Mixed Stabby Stab also there, stage bottom.
Oh,
but
nice casket.
Good barrel and a good flash. Dodges it away with the body slam. Hits him with the thumbs up.
Hey, we take those. We take those. Oh, I just get out of there. You saw what happened to Killer when he just didn't let his turret fall. Well, this should be the last outer turret falling for Tibbers, and they're just going to claim it for Iolani. Can't do much about that.
I don't know about you, but if I was Tessa Spirit, I feel pretty good about making it out of that. You know,
Hey,
that was some slick
you got your highlight play.
Yeah, I know. That was some slick playmaking there.
Oh.
That's a half health bar.
That was a QE and 2 ticks of your W.
God damn. Oh, Testa Spirit going back in for round 2 in that top lane.
And but there's backup for Mixed Stabby Stabbed in the top lane. Diana's still nearby, but instead they're going to opt towards that Herald when it does spawn in about like less than 30 seconds or so.
He's being left alone. I think they want the Herald more, which, you know, understandable. But Gragas, you know, is scaling up, is getting those Rod of Asia stacks, and that Seraphs is almost completed. Tears almost done stacking, so big power spike coming in soon.
I want to say going towards the Winter, but I could be wrong. We have to wait and see what he does opt in this scenario. Romanize is vibing bot lane. He's vibing.
Yep. Able to hold his ground as needed. But we do see the rotations coming out on the side of New Valley. They want to see if they can make a play on this Soul Samira, who, by the way, does have that wind wall. Is not going to be able to do anything. The wave is just not big enough.
So going to be a 4-man dive just maybe on top of this Samir, but TP is available for this Malphite Mixed Stabby Stab if he wants to come down and help out his team. Thresh not spotted out, but Skullsand.
Skullsand walking into dangerous territory here, is saved by his teammate. L-Star's got his back. Wind wall finally down, and now Killer King needs to get out of here. He's the furthest one out. Malphite all dodge. Cozy Campfire meant to keep everyone up alive, but that just means everybody groups up, and it's so unfortunate.
All I gotta say is I felt that for Mixed Stabby Stab. I've been there. You TP'd out as Malphite, you flash ult, and it hits no one. I felt that on a spiritual level, man. It's feels bad, man.
But they are going to get this objective bounty. So Silver Lining is secure. They're going to shrink that gold lead by just a little bit. And it's going into the Gragas' pockets, meaning that's going to be a slight funnel forward for that man with the barrel.
Yeah, but let's see how it plays out, though, Henry, because that's 3 Drakes, though.
I think this is going to be the Seraphs on the back, but no, actually opts in for the Demonic Embrace.
Demonic Embrace, yeah. And that's almost a fully stacked Magi's, Henry.
Almost fully stacked. This could lead to it. There it is.
There it is. We call it.
And, oh.
Did he hit anyone? I do that sometimes just so I can get like some damage.
If you had first strike, you would do that.
Oh, hell,
you know what I'm
heck
saying?
Yeah, dude. But
you know what I'm saying?
We call this a UH Baron, Henry.
Oh, yes, we do. We do call it a UH Baron. It's when they take it at 20 minutes. It's usually not too great because we typically throw at 20 minutes also. I see our staff is shaking their heads because they know it firsthand.
Oh, yeah, our replay obs and observer. They know by heart by that.
what that ends up being. But with that Baron now taken, it looks like a little bit of ARAM action, which we saw also from the previous series. But the team that ended up ARAMing did not do too well, I would say.
But look at it, though. Ultimates are available at the moment. Cataclysm up and follow up. We've seen this wombo combo several times, Henry. It is working in dividends for this squad. I do want to see, though, once the trigger is pulled, and it could be the end game. It could be the ticket for the finals for Iolani Middle School, and, well, that's something.
Absolutely. So we saw the Trundle trying to get a little bit extra farm, you know. Then had to help out with the team, so it's kind of unlucky. I understand. That's probably what I would do as a jungler too. So we got that going for us. But we do have the engage coming in, and the Caitlyn also now fallen. So this is going to be a 3v5. They are going to peel off for a little bit here. Going to play safe. They did just grab a bunch of money, is the side of Iolani, so they're probably looking to spend that out. But maybe you're looking to push other lanes on top of that.
Yeah, maybe so, but look at the rest of the fully stacked Moramata for this J4 along with the Eclipse. This man will one-shot you by himself if possible. Frozen Heart, components are almost there for the Malphite, and that is another thing you want to see. Frozen Heart, such a good item to have against this kind of team. Upside, that is a very scary Samir, Henry. That is a very scary Samir. The Collector with that is going to be like, he spins, and you're dead.
One of the few champions that can actually still use Collector. As I say that, Skullsand being hunted down doesn't have the subjugate to help him out, but Test of Spirit, his homie, he's got his back.
So would you literally call that a whirling death, technically speaking?
What do you mean?
When Samir ults, is it?
Yeah, it has its own name.
Yeah, but you could call it a whirling death.
You could also call it a die, die, die.
Oh, true. You could call that. Yeah, I saw too much Overwatch yesterday. I think that's Overwatch, Henry. I don't know Overwatch.
I'm proud of you.
I'm not.
Did it not go too well?
You should ask our producer.
Oh, well, he just put his hand on his head, so it clearly did not go too well.
Oh, yeah. We had to wait and see for that one, but yeah. Baron, almost about to be fully used up. This should be the final push for Iolani Middle School, Henry. One final push. Binding does not land. This could be it. Malphite on the side. No flash, no ultimate. But the Death Sentence does land, Henry. They're going in. The Cataclysm 3-man. They want it all, Henry. This would be the game-ending push. Romanizer kill for that one. Test of Spirit with the casket, knocking him away. But it's going to be a 3 versus 5 scenario. 3 versus 5 to keep their dreams alive, to make sure that they will not die. They will not fall, so they can stay alive if possible. But with the momentum, with the pressure, Iolani Middle School, they're knocking on their gates, knocking on their front doors, knocking to slay them.
Yep, first next turret is going to fall. The second one is going to follow suit. Iolani Middle School, they are going to meet up in the finals after a 2-0 here in their semifinal. The first semifinals ever, and boy, did they put on a show for us.
Boy, they did. And hey, that's all she wrote in that scenario, Henry. They finally did it.
They did do it, and, you know, I don't want to say anything short of convincing, but that was a pretty good performance. They had two completely different compositions to showcase for us today. So, you know, if you're the Iolani staff, you're pretty happy with this result. If you're on the other side of New Valley, a very unfortunate. Of course, teams can't stay on the top forever, but hopefully this motivates the next semester to come out even stronger.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, like you mentioned, 0-2. Not just in the game, but also for the semifinals for New Valley. Yeah. But you live and you learn in this scenario.
You live and you learn. It happens to pros. It happens to the best of us.
I'm a Team Liquid fan. It happens to us all the time.
We know.
I could be a TSM fan.
Grandpa.
Anyway, but yeah, that is it for the semifinals, as we do have one more best of 3 for this League of Legends stuff. It'll be Mackay Middle School versus Iolani Middle School for that grand final to cement themselves in the history of the Hawaii Esports Leagues. We'll be right back after a short break. See you soon. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Hawaii Esports League Spring 2023 Championship And we're finally here at our grand finals for the League of Legends part. We have Iolani Middle School versus Eva Mackay Middle School, but only one of them will come out of the victor, Henry.
Yep.
He's Henry, I'm Professor Layton, and welcome everybody.
Yep, best of 3 to finally close it out. A long-awaited series on our hands. A very eventful day so far, but we do know one of these teams is going to be a first-time champion for this tournament.
That's awesome. We love to see that.
Absolutely so. For Eva Mackay, the journey here was rough. They had to take down the defending champions, but they made it, and they're here. For Iolani, they're kind of on a little bit of a momentum swing here, and they just played the most recent series, so they probably still have a little bit of that potential energy, as the physicians say, heading into this next one. But I'm still here for the underdogs. I'm cheering for Eva Mackay.
Oh, all right. You heard it here first. My man here is training for Eva Mackay. Not some bias because you know the coach.
No bias whatsoever. I would never do that.
Yeah, as the coach is smiling at us.
I would never do that.
Hi, Garrett. But yeah, it's an interesting series though, because we saw the aggression coming out from Iolani in this past game.
Yes.
While, like you said, for Eva Mackay, it was an uphill battle. The reverse sweep for them against the grand champions, New Valley Goon Squad.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of funny because we look at the game, and I know Game 3 had a little bit of technical difficulties, but if you put that aside, and if this was it was a normal game that just went through as it should have, I feel like Eva Mackay kept getting better and better throughout the entire series. This was like Game 1, Game 2, and then Game 3, right?
They're evolving slowly.
They're evolving, yeah. They still have so much room to improve, and it was evident in the fact that they won the series, they beat out the numbers, they won as the underdogs, reverse sweep. For Iolani, we're kind of I think we're seeing their ceiling, and if Eva Mackay can match that or even scale past it, so to speak, then it's gonna be pretty interesting.
Fair assessment. To wait and see what happens. As slowly the picks and bans are happening off screen. We're just waiting for the first half to be done. Then we'll go into our own draft to see what happens. But yeah, there's a lot of picks. I know we kept on seeing Eva Mackay banning out that Hecarim.
Yes.
Or was it banned out towards them? I forget.
Regardless of, I feel like Hecarim is being banned out a lot. I feel like Silas is being banned out a lot. And also that Draven that we've been seeing on the bot side. Of course, the picks that we see are after the teams have settled out for themselves, and it's in order for us. Hopefully. So the bans, super easy, doesn't really play into effect. But I feel like the players are also picking for themselves, which shows that level of comfort, okay? And, we really like to see that. Both teams watch their opponent play on screen.
Yeah, they did.
2 to 3 games. So they should have, to the best of their ability, a sample size to work with.
Should be.
In terms of what the draft would look like, Eva Mackay.
There we are.
We saw the Belveth. We saw the Silas, right? On the side of Iolani, we saw the Irelia. Got it right.
Hey, it's Irelia. And now we're into the picks and bans. Blue side will be Iolani. Red side will be Eva Mackay. And let's see what they got here. The sticking. Okay, look at the same bans that happened again towards Eva Mackay. They do not want to see this Hecarim. It's scary. I said it before, and get the Eclipse, get the Manamune. He will chunk you down.
Yep, I hear it in my nightmares sometimes, that neighing. But yeah, also with Shojin, it just works out really well. Hecarim has become less of a drain tank and more of this kind of run you down, quite literally, type of champion. But if Iolani is just going to be banning what they're typically banning, then there's not a lot of variety. This Viego is definitely a target onto Angel Cat Memes, who did show that potential even in that losing Game 1.
And speaking of target bans, we see the Irelia ban towards Dark Slasher 808, and this man popped off so much on that Irelia.
I was scared.
I was scared too. We weren't even in the game, but we were like, don't come at us. He's going to come out of nowhere and
I had to turn around to make sure the Irelia was not blade surging towards me.
He's ganking you.
Yeah, I know. Right? So, Thresh being banned, I feel like that's targeted towards Chaotic Phoenix, but we didn't get to see too much from Average Player 12. Could be a Thresh player himself, but notices that the diff is potential. And the Nasus.
You gotta ban Panthers, Nasus. Hey, respect to that one. And hey, he had a really good Nasus play. He got very far behind early on, but he kept on pushing in.
Kept scaling.
Kept on scaling, kept on getting minions, and he kept on getting the side pressure. They kept on sending 2 people towards him, and it let the rest of his team have these 4v3 team fights. And lastly, it'll be the set ban for make Stabby stabbed.
Yeah, absolutely so. And the set ban to round it out. So a lot of targeted aggression here in terms of the bans, making sure that they're going to pincer the pool just a little bit. I mean, there's still so many potential picks for the top
We
lane.
have 5 seconds left.
Gragas.
2
We've
seconds
been
left
seeing
for this
Mundo.
first pick.
We
Will
haven't
Observer
been
do it?
seeing like anything too crazy out of the ordinary except for the same stuff. Orin is one of those picks that we have been seeing already.
Yeah, Orin really good, especially in the tight corridors, and especially with how much Iolani likes to do these wombo combos. We have the Jarvan still up. You have Oriana. You can have a lot of things you want to pair with it, and it's pandered.
Pandered.
It's pandered.
Only Heartsteel champions.
Only Hearthstone champions, only Set, only Nasus, only that, and Angel Cat memes taken away at Diana. We saw Darkslash could do with it, but Angel Cat memes is not one, to slouch on.
Yeah, I mean, the Game 3 performance, although there was some iffiness to it, he was just 4-man Nightfalls, or Moonfalls, I should say.
Yeah, Moonfalls. I mean, the question is, though, what's Sejuani being picked? What are you going to pair up with it? You already have the...
That would be something very, very new, something that we didn't expect to see all day today. But this does show Iolani now have triple AP. That's right, triple AP for their top half of the map. So they're going to need to introduce some diversity. Eva Makai also is doing the same thing here. If Tilted Squares opts in for like a Victor that we saw earlier, or the Rise that we've seen earlier, or the open Silas.
The Silas is left open, and with the ultimates up on the board, we have Call of the Forge, we have the Glacial Prison coming in from him. And that's a lot of good ults to have if you are the Silas, and it is going to be locked in. And now we're in the second ban phase. Yeah, you got to go away Caitlyn.
Take away the Caitlyn. Okay, let's predict it right now. I'm thinking 3 ADC bans, Caitlyn, Draven, Aphelios, and the Leona.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
But remember, we've seen Romanize on this Samira, and he's so aggressive with it. Do you want to leave that open for him? Of course, you got to ban Draven against Kakane.
You do have to ban it. Thank you for the correction. I am now aware of my cultural irrelevance and how the phonetics of the Hawaiian language work. But Jhin would be an interesting one to ban, considering we didn't see Romanize, perform on a Jhin quite to the caliber.
Did quite well in the last pick. Will it be the ban of Leon, or will we see like the Lucian ban that we've seen several times, or will we see something like the Samira, something like the Ezreal? That is something.
Okay.
It kind of had a decently well game, and I believe it was game 2 he played it.
So I think it's kind of interesting that we're choosing to ban out the Draven and the Ezreal, because Kakane played both of those, obviously, right? But he was not the superstar focus of it. I think Zilean makes a lot more sense, because Angel Cat Means has been finding himself in the stickiest of situations and was really depending on that Zilean as a failsafe. Removing it now, though, does leave a lot of power picks left open. That Jinx Milieu that we were talking about. Caitlyn is gone, but Aphelios is making it through the ban phase for the first time in a while.
And Aphelios is usually paired up with that Aphelios, but if we see the Ezreal, I want to see if we'll see something like the Nahlas or the Karma paired up with it. Maybe even Rakan would pair up really well with Ezreal, like that bonus movement speed because of the Shirelios battle song. We have to wait and see what that final pick will be for Iolani Middle School.
Support's going to come down to the wire, I think, based on what we've seen so far, and it's going to be a Swain. Something completely unpredictable. Yeah, exactly. A lot of AP. I was going to say this myself. Both teams are depending on their respective bot laners to carry out that AD damage. However, if that's not going to work out, like if the ADs get shut down, then it's very easy for the hyper tanks up above to start building stuff like the Force of Nature, like the Spirit Visage, and that Soraka is confirmed, Leighton.
I want to say, I believe every single time against Makai in that first semifinals, second ban phase, it was always Soraka getting banned out against him, and it's finally left open.
So you're saying this is finally a pick that's getting trickled through the composition,
which
like shows to the caliber that the two ADCs have been playing at to warrant 3 bans towards them, leaving out so many support picks left available. The Zilean, I think, was essential to piercing a little bit of Makai's armor, but Iolani have a little bit of a death ball composition, the ones that kind of just jump at you kind of situation.
They're so in the zone right now. They're
they were playing Valorant just now.
Yeah, no, we were watching them before. They're playing Minecraft, TFT. They're playing Deathmatch. One of them was playing chess. One in the middle was playing chess over there.
Yes.
The one that looks serious, he was playing TFT. And then you have El Bakai on the screen. There you go.
Yeah, look at them. Repping the diversity. West Side, I believe, is what you said you're cheering for.
And you see on the table the trophies, what they're playing for, the big trophy. First place gets the big one, while right in front of there's a little small one for second place.
Yes.
You don't want that, but here we go.
They do get something regardless for making it this far. Finals is not an easy feat. And some zippies. Absolutely. The Korean fried chicken we keep mentioning.
But no matter what, we hear our first game of the grand finals of the Hawaii Esports League Spring 2023 Championship. Iolani Middle School on the blue side. On the red side, we have Evan Mackay Middle School, who will cement themselves in the history as the grand champions for spring. We'll have to wait and find out, Henry.
Romanize opting in for that heal the second time, I would say, because Jin was doing it the other time. But the tier start and
hey, buddy, Mundo.
Pander, you got 30 seconds. Well, actually, they're like 3 minutes.
Oh,
so
no.
They won't know.
Maybe he'll know.
This could be a cheese.
Uh-huh.
Hear me out.
I'm hearing.
Clear the first wave. Back. 800 gold Kindle gem.
I don't know about that one, buddy.
That's what Orn does. Orn could.
Yeah, Orn could do that, but Orn's on the other team, sadly.
Yeah, but Orn bought stuff, okay? Panther did not buy stuff. This could be a conscious choice. We'll see.
Or he's AFK playing Valorant. You never know.
All of the CS has to go in, you know? If he misses one, then the cheese does not work anymore. Other than that, everyone else was pretty well behaved. They are not doing anything unorthodox. We saw the 2 lines of scrimmage across the map. They don't want to do with anything too crazy. Of course, the finals are pretty high stakes. You see Dark Slasher hitting that level 1, going in, chunking a little bit.
Yeah, chunking indeed. But yeah, that's what we expected from these 2 mid laners in both Dark Slasher and Tilted Squares. Very aggressive in their own right. Silas versus LeBlanc. So we're about to see who will slay who first as the abductors land on top of him. But that's level 2 for Dark Slasher. The chains will not connect. They land on a minion as a flash out for Tilted Squares. No Ignite. Will Ignite kill them there? I don't believe so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could have ignited and auto down, but you know, definitely want to play it safe. Don't know where the jungler is because you gotta, you know, you don't want to be the one to accidentally give away the first blood, even though the situation looks good for you. But Tilted Square is going to stay around. Hopefully, doesn't want to fall too far behind in the early levels. But
Sejuani in. That was a nice knockup. He will get first blooded by Draco. Oh. It's like to see very smart play from this jungler as fighting his inner demons. Hey, but it happens. But you're still secure. Nothing too bad happening. I do want to point out though, you mentioned the Swain versus Soraka, and when Swain does finally has Merlinamicon in these team fights, Soraka is pretty much useless in that regard.
Ooh. Claiming the passive on Pander for Mundo is really big because people only think about the passive as associating it to only associating it to the CC cooldown, but that actually is also Mundo's main source of healing now other than the ultimate. He doesn't have the passive from before where he just churns out health consistently. Instead, hold on.
Angel Cat memes dashing in. Double dash already down. Ignite goes out by Angel Cat memes. Angel Cat memes has to flash out. Oh, one more tick will do it, but the Ignite will not take him down. He will survive. As Romanize and Kikane will see him. But Angel Cat memes, he had less than
health.
If you think about it, he was single-digit HP at the end of that, though.
Wow. Well, I will say,
yeah,
Evan Mackay did not get the first blood this game, so that consistency was gone. But I do like to see this rebounding that they did. Unfazed by the first blood, and of course it is Angel Cat memes making the play there. But Tilted Squares, nothing landing though, so he's going to walk out.
Yeah, no chain second time. But I do want to point out, I'm pretty sure Iolani got first blood in both their games though.
Oh.
So there's some consistency in that regard. Yeah.
Okay. But fighting action happening on both sides. The Mundo Panzer did get first blooded, unfortunately. So just Orn things once again. But nice thing about Mundo, you're just going to be your health tank, you know? Finish up your Heartsteel and just bonk away.
He bought item. Let's go.
He did.
Also, I just realized something. Think about lore-wise, but Dark Slashing gets some damage because Silas called the Kingslayer, but if you think about it, LeBlanc is also technically a Kingslayer.
I don't know the lore of LeBlanc too.
Oh, yeah, LeBlanc killed Jarvan's dad.
Which Jarvan?
The third.
Oh.
So Jarvan the third got slain by him. That's why Jarvan the fourth is now the king. So technically speaking, they're both Kingslayers in that regard.
That's true. We're getting an aggressive go in, but using the clone.
will go in, but who will fall first? It will be tilted square at the 30 HP. Well, for Dark Slasher, no flash available for Angel Cat Memes, but Angel Cat Memes will meet a board instead. Will take. He takes it, man. He takes the farm, but I don't think you should win this, especially if Angel Cat Memes has so much damage, has the blasting wand in the pocket. So he will hurt you, even with that. But oh, here comes the call to Forge Guard on the top side. And you're out of mana, but that was interesting. If you got rid of the passive earlier before that, that could have been a kill.
Could have been a kill, luckily, when those passive kicking in. And I like that you point out that extended fights against Angel Cat Memes are not the best choice. We saw that throughout the first series where Evan Mackay, they had the fights around the Baron, and New Valley Goon Squad was able to take the Baron, but because they took those extended fights against a Conqueror Angel Cat Memes, that's healing, that's sustained, but that's also adaptive damage that translates
but look
in.
At bot lane, rooted in place, average player has to flash out, but he still will fall. Draco again, 2-0-0, has that Aegis in his pocket.
And the gold lead slowly growing, albeit this is probably the slowest that Iolani have fostered the gold lead so far. Yeah. And so that shows there is a fighting chance with Evan Mackay. They have made it to the finals thus far. They have something to prove for themselves. And it's been a while since they got to play their game. It's been about a couple hours since their series.
2 hours-ish.
Yeah, so they're still warming up, They still got some action in their veins.
Yeah, still some action, but let's look at it though. Tilted squares though, definitely compared to that last side of this game he did have, it definitely is a 180 scenario, but still, he can be a big late game threat, so he has to make sure he plays it smart and mixes to that late game, because like we mentioned, he has a lot of good ultimates for you to steal.
Lots of very good ultimates. On top of that, Swain Suction, Ornn ult. We see a lot of double Ornn ults very often.
Shot Barrage as well, doing so much with the AP ratios.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Just pick of the litter here for the Silas.
And then you steal LeBlanc. It's like, uh-oh. What'd I do now?
You could take the LeBlanc W and roam faster, or you could take the chains, and that will set up for your Abscond the Duck. So, yeah, exactly. A lot of different options here that could come to be. Panther is healing up. He's fine. He's got his Doran shield now.
Yep, he has his bead in his pocket, so he's a little healthy.
Lots of healing.
Lots of healing. I want to see when he does finally back though what he will get in his pocket. We do see the tier built up for the Ornn. Oh, he missed the minion there. We saw that tilted.
That's fine. Oh, maximum dosage procced, going aggressive.
The call the Forge God will be popped, and the knock up. Oh, the passive though is enough. And oh, mixed stabby, getting stabbed by the cleaver of Pandirt. And it was a little bit of a predicament on both regards, but a little bit over-aggression for mixed stabs, and same thing can be said for Pandirt there.
Yeah, both sides very scared, as you saw. The health bars got a little bit low
it's like,
there.
You go first. No, you go first.
Yeah, no one wants to be that guy and give it away. So
you're not that guy.
They're both going to be gentlemen's agreementing. And
Pandirt knows. Pandirt knows. He knows. He knows. But he will dash for not just hit the pillar.
He does not lack critical information. He's got it.
The ghost from Panther is already popped, and that's something you want to see if you are the Sejuani who is near that top side. Abduct does not land. Here comes the chains. It will get rooted in place. Another one to boot. Yeah, not bad at all so far for this game. Slowing down a lot on the pacing. And you smell that, Henry?
I smell it. It's good.
That is some food, and hey, that's
where'd we get the food from?
Hey, I'm pretty sure we got that's from this little food truck called Voyage Food Truck by Chef Ahmed, and hey, it's right outside. If you want to go there, check it out. Some good food. I know I got the Kahlua pork. As we see, Draco though, that's a different kind of pork on that scenario.
Dragon pork.
But no tower dive just yet. I got the Kahlua pork. I know you got the cabana. Hey, check it out if you have the time. That's some good food to eat.
Yeah. As we head into this laning phase, which has stabilized a lot compared to the other two games that we saw from Iolani. You can see that gold lead has even shrunken quite a bit since the last time we talked about
I like
it.
That recall with that little trees at the end.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it was 3K. It's now 2K and starting to dwindle even more. So this is a good pace for Evan Mackay. They gave away the early bloods. That can't be helped because that's in the past. But they're trying to make the most out of it. And here, you're starting to see, yes, this dragon is being taken, but one of the things about taking dragons that a lot of teams don't consider is when you give away that bot lane priority, right? You give away that bot lane control, a lot of it, comes down to experience and gold in the early numbers, but we're starting to see that hook. It does land.
Oh, but they're going into the Glacial Prison on top of him, forced to use the cleanse, but True Charge Broad will land only on Soraka. There goes Diana, waiting in place. Will get spotted out by that ward from Draco. No Dragon, of course. That was already been taken, but that was a Cloud
No
Drake.
Cloud Soul.
No Cloud Soul. No Ocean Soul. So Henry.
Wow. I think that's the only souls we've gotten today.
We got a Hex deck last game.
Oh, you're right.
So now that question, Henry, it's our favorite game. What soul?
Okay. Now, obviously, the soul that we pick, it does depend on. It has a little bias on which team we favor more. If we're thinking Mountain Soul, then that's in favor of Iolani because they have 2 to 3 if you want to count Swain tanks.
Okay.
If we wanted to damage, both teams would do great for it, but I think Eva Macau would love to have the Infernal Soul. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go for a Hail Mary Chemtech.
Did you know Chemtech got changed? It's
Yes.
no longer the lower health you are, the more damage you do. Instead, it's tenacity and healing and shielding power.
I'm gonna go with Chemtech.
So Chemtech would actually also be really good for the side of Eva Macau. In fact, both supports utilize that healing very, very well.
Look at that brittle damage coming in, but without the passive, oh, pain. Pandirt will be down in the dirt. That's another solo kill going over to this Ornn. 2-0-0 for him. Pretty good.
A little unlucky ducky going on over there. The gold lead, most of it, as a matter of fact, is in that top side, which, if you think about it, Ornn doesn't really benefit too crazily from items. You're just a tank. You're not going to dish out too much. The thing that Ornn really values from being ahead is the fact that you're getting all of this experience, which means you get closer to that 13 through 17. You can empower the items from your teammates, but the fact that the Ornn has a majority of this lead should be a really good silver lining here for the side of Eva Macau, because that means everyone else on the team is even or slightly behind, and it's the very early stages. Gold swings anyway, so this is really hopeful, and the scoreline may not show it. It's 5-1. You can make a case for it, but it's still pretty close.
Still pretty close, but like you mentioned, once the early game phase is over, we go into the mid-late game, and when the ornaments finally happen, the goalie will start swinging more in favor of this Iolani squad.
Iolani looking to propel their gold lead forward. We did say it was around 3K. It has become that again now that Panther has taken 1 L more than the last time we talked about it. And now, Draco has that Rift Herald, so that's going to be a couple more plates. But this fight mid.
Plating is happening. Dark Slasher avoiding it with his W. Tilted. We'll get rid of in place. A little bit of poke damage. Just electrocute proc did a decent amount of damage there. But top lane, here's another Wombo meat fight happening from Pander and McStabby Stab. But a nice Soraka Wish will make sure, Star Call will make sure he stays alive.
No, it's Wish.
Wish? What's Star Call then? Oh, Star Call is his Q.
There you go.
Thanks, Henry.
There you go. I don't even play Soraka.
Me neither, actually.
Oh, okay. But you're a support main. You know what I'm saying?
All right, but look at the Silas, though. He has the Glacial from that, but the goes, but he still whips it. I believe it wouldn't have hit no matter what, but here we go again. It's just a meatball fight top lane.
He will die to the brittle. Whoa.
It's just a meatball fight top lane. Oh, he's...
What?
No, it's smart. He's trying to get away. He's trying to get the Moonfall.
Wow.
Hey.
That is vision. He knew the Diana was coming because of that ward in the river, and that was some quick thinking. Mundo does not have a CC, but Tilted Squares does not need CC to finish off.
Just needs to ignite, and honestly, if that was me playing Silas, I would have ignited the wrong LeBlanc clone, I'll be honest with you. I've done that a little bit, a couple of times as support, you've seen it happen.
That's why we're not playing.
This is why you left me. You're not my duo
No,
anymore.
not for your LeBlanc. Do not blame your LeBlanc on this. But anyway,
yes, look.
This is probably the, I don't want to say worst performance because there was other two. Oh, well, it was close.
Remember, like we said, Ornn is an assassin, tank, mage, bruiser, support. What else is there?
Just start naming classes. Marksman.
Marksman, duelist,
Aegis
Yeah.
from TFT. Anyway, this is probably the most passive we've seen Dark Slasher play.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because this shows Tilted Squares is squaring up, pun intended, with the likes of the Dark Slasher LeBlanc. And this has prevented a lot of roaming from occurring on other sides of the map. Now, this was that first Herald that was taken earlier, which means didn't lead to any plates, but that does mean first brick did fall on the top side in favor of McStabby Stab.
Yeah,
that orange starting to become a problem, and if team fights happen early, hold on.
Nice flash out from Roma, nice. Chaotic flash out as well, heal in place. But oh, Chaotic's taking down Chaotic. One more auto attack will do it, but instead it'll go to Chaotic Phoenix. They're going further beyond. Root in place on top of their Glacial Prison will land on top of the Soraka. Draco will claim that as Kekane will go bye-bye. 3 kills on the board for this Eva Mackay squad.
And punishment to the super hyper aggression that was used by the team on the side of Eva Mackay. It was a bit of the vision toggle. You could see that Tribrush was so tricky to play around just because they couldn't place down a ward. I don't believe they had a control ward in their inventory, which made it really difficult to guess, you know?
A little bit.
Kakane missed the Jinx Rocket, for example, and Swain just gets to suction for free without needing vision of the area so long as somebody's right there. And so now, you know, a little bit more of that extension, but I do still like that Tilted Squares is keeping up, being that pillar of hope.
Will he get the cannon minion? All right. I was worried about that for a second.
Had to use Q for it. You know,
hey, respect. Hey, that's a lot of gold.
That was 90.
That's 9. Yeah, that's a lot of gold, man. You gotta take that. Oh, McStabby. Okay.
And denies the cannon from Pander.
I know. I was worried a bit, but hey, we take those. And now, look at the gold right in the pocket. That should be the Jack show almost completed for him. But Dark Slasher will get out. Oh, he's just stylish. Honestly, yeah, we like to see that. But yeah, that should be the Jack show soon for this Orin. Because I don't know if you want to go for double Radiant Virtue. That's not the smartest in my opinion.
Double Radiant Virtue, well, yeah, I don't know if it stacks.
It doesn't stack.
Oh,
me.
I see. I'm thinking that's going to be a Jack shows.
Yeah, it should be a Jack show. And we've seen the upgraded Jack show already in the previous series, and it does so much, especially in these late game team fights where you're like a frontline damage, a frontline threat.
Absolutely so. As we see, doubling up on the Mythics is not going to be on the agenda for Eva Mackay Middle School either. Proto Belt for one of the AP carries and Night Harvester for the other. So this is showing to be good. They are diversifying their build. I am a little worried about the Jinx, who is, you know, it's only 20 CS. It could be a lot worse. 20 CS is not the end of the world. About to finish the Mythic also, so that's going to be a huge power spike. So Eva Mackay are going to have a good mix of AD AP with the meat fight top lane.
Meat fight top lane, indeed. Call the Fortune will be popped in place, but bot side, Romanize gets a kill on top of Soraka. Look, the Jinx might fall soon on that regard. We'll keep an eye on that one. But Pandert still getting chased down. And it also looks like Akane will get out in that end as well. But looking at mid lane, still both Angel Cat memes and Tilted trying to get on top of Dark Slasher. And it looks like this should just be the focus for the bot side turret. Or just a reset.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They don't want to push it up.
They don't want the smoke.
They don't. They probably think, yeah, the turret's really healthy. Our Sejuani, you know, is not as tanky without the Radiant Virtue. So just call it off. Be a little safe with it. Teleport should go through. Yep, there it is.
Turret should still fall here, though, because the cannon minion. And now it's going to be a chase. No, okay, I lied. Just Angel Cat Mage going for his Krugs.
Going for the Krugs. Totally fine with that. As you can see, level 13 now finished for the Ornn. So that Jack shows has now upgraded to whatever the other one is called. I don't play Ornn enough to know what the Ornn items are.
I don't know any of the upgraded items are called, I'll be honest with you, man.
I was going to say I think I know Luden's one, but I don't know Luden's one.
Fair enough. And McStabby's just going into the wall. Hey, trying to get out. I respect that still, but speaking of which, such phenomenal gameplay coming in from both squads. Iolani, very aggressive, but can't count out Mackay just yet. And you want to know why their gameplay is so good, Henry?
Why?
Goes one of our proud spots. Hawaii Telecom. Right now, the internet is so good. The ping is so good with the 100% fiber internet, but there's a fight happening. Draco, his own ultimate is stopping him, but call the Forge Guard to boot. Moonfall will fall down, but the Upduck will land. So maybe Death Rocket will not kill on that back end, but oh my god, is the domination of Iolani. 2 kills on the board for them, and they just have to fall straight back.
The bot lane were able to roam up to that river fight a little bit quicker. I believe Evan Mackay's bot lane was trying to push up the wave, trying to deny as much experience and creep score as possible. But same story for Evan Mackay. You know, they have a split pushing potential top laner. Yep, Mundo slamming his head against the structure. Yep. That's going to be an objective bounty, by the way.
But Henry, yeah. What internet do you have, though? You have Hawaiian Telecom?
Huh?
What kind of internet do you have? Do you have Hawaii Telecom?
I do not. I live in an apartment, so it is kind of decided for me.
I gotta say, in the future, get it, man. Get some good internet, get some good ping, just like these guys over here.
I'll consider it.
Yeah.
I do like fast internet.
Yeah, especially in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
We know our ping is bad.
We can't fix ping, so we can maybe fix internet. As Angel Cat a little skeptical there, seeing the shadow of an Ornn, but is going to be fine.
It sounds like a horror movie. Shadow of the Ornn.
Shadow of an Ornn.
Oh, no Abduct there. Chain not connecting. Hey, they're having a good time.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. There you go. Thanks, buddy.
They both dodge. There you go. Look at that.
Hey,
the camaraderie.
Respect. And I'm pretty sure as well, when they load into the lobby, they all had like the same icon as well.
Okay. So I don't know if either of us said Hextech.
No, I said Chemtech. You said Inferno, I think.
Yeah. So, but hold on.
Oh, hold on indeed. They're still going in as the call the Forge God will land. Tilted Square about to get a little bit more tilted. So maybe Death Rocket will land on the meatiest of meatballs for the Iolani squad. And the no vision, and this should just be the 3rd Drake, and it should be Hextech Soul Point for Iolani as well, man.
Yes, do not be fooled by that ocean symbol on the top left. Riot just refuses to fix their game.
They're lying to us. I mean, wasn't it Cloud before this? At one point, like, didn't it show the clouds?
It would used to show nothing. So I don't know if this is better, because now we're being gaslit by the video game.
Gatekeep, girl boss, you know, the whole shebang, you know.
But yeah, they're finally going to try to take down this bot side tower. It has been a pretty difficult thing. They have not been able to do it for a while. Oh my lord.
That is a Triforce, the fully stack, more mana. There's a Draco in the bush. And I think this tower is all but in the pockets for Iolani in middle school, the last outer turret to fall. Actually, no, there's still the mid lane.
There's still the mid one, yeah.
I forgot top lane was a
good
wide
on
open
the structures.
Lane.
And I think this outer turret falling can favor Evan Mackay if they want to try to put Pander in the bottom side and just do a repeat of what they did in the top side, get that objective bounty slowly but surely. But, you know, getting outer turrets from the side lanes is great and all, but it doesn't open up the map as much as you would like as compared to that mid lane tower. So that is going to be the next focus point for both of these teams. Iolani, the one to try to take it. Evan Mackay going to try to hold that line.
Hold the line indeed. Look at the rest of the board, though. We have the Fimbulwinter for this Ornn, so he's a lot more tanky. And we see the ornaments come into play. It's going to be for the Ezreal. I'm not sure what we call the Triforce, and that is going to be a dead average player. And we talked about before, the Oblivion Orb for the Swain is going to be so useful in these late game team fights, especially against average player once the Wish has fallen down. And that, you know, that's all it takes.
Yeah, Swain grabbing that orb is probably a lot better than Ornn grabbing the Bramble and Sejuani grabbing the Thornmail. I'm almost obligated to say it's better than both of those combined.
Yeah.
Just because Swain's ultimate is that AoE, and it procs Oblivion Orb as long as you do magic damage.
It's another circle.
Like a circle. Here we go. Now you're getting the hang of it.
Yeah, there you go. But Baron being taken 24 minutes in this game. Angel Cat means we've seen him time and time again try to steal these Barons. This is his time to shine. Will
they could try to drive-by smite.
They could try to drive-by smite.
You can't prevent the Hexgate entrance.
They're going in,
He's just going to flash in.
He steals it. He steals the Baron with the smite. And they're still going. Moonfall will land on 4 members, but it's not enough. They want to go for more. Tilted Squares has to flash away. He has to run away, but will it be the end? The silence comes in for Soraka. Dark Slasher on the side. That's a
Flame Chompers.
Yeah, Flame Chompers. But look at top lane.
Look at Pandert!
He's doing Pander things. He just beat a tag, split pushing, and now he's against McStabby stabbed. Oh, Battle of the Heart Steel. That's 34 in his pocket, and he's just been so dang tanky, and he wants to go for more. No call the Forge God knock up in place. Actually, it looks very useful for Pander. Pander will get, he won't get out. No, he will remain.
He did try.
But he tried. A for effort in that regard. He'll go to Chaotic Phoenix. I broke my fork.
Oh, that's what you get.
Yep, I was playing around with it too much. But look at this game though, Henry. That was a chain of events we did not expect. A Baron steal for Evan Mackay. That's what they needed to say in this game.
You can always count on good old Angel Cat memes to bring the game back to a stable situation. Not only was the Baron taken, but you got to keep in mind that while that was happening, Panda took down inner turret, inhibitor turret. That's 2 objective bounties. And now with the Baron pushing power and all of these outer turrets still standing, that could be more objective bounties in the pockets. This gold lead at one point was 10,000. Now just down to 6K and could continue to diminish further and further down.
Further and further indeed. But Henry, a minute left until this dragon spawns as well. And that is going to be the sole point for Iolani. Or even Mackay have another answer for that. Will Angel Cat memes show that they are the angel for their squad and steal this dragon soul point?
I do not count them out just yet. Smites are very powerful. I think Riot made a good choice making the smites equal. I think it provides a lot more of that climactic moment as they fight over a blue buff. Who's going to get it? Is there going to be a smite? Oh, smite is going to go down, but
it might cost your life in this end, but the root in place, and they'll get out just so, but a nice 2-man root in place. Call the Forge God as well, though. Keep on going. Roman gets kill on top of the Silas. They want more Angel Cat means will fall. Double kill going over to Romanize, and it's falling down.
So 3 Barons off the table, but look at what Panzer's doing. Classic, yes. Zoom in on him. What is he doing here?
Zoom in closer.
What is his plan?
Not close enough.
His plan is to stand. Oh, his plan is to take it.
Oh, headbutt. Mono uses the headbutt. Super effective. That's
wow.
Wow.
That's a lot of damage.
Watching Pokemon.
They're taking a really long time doing this dragon. Pandar's going to get this tower for free.
Yeah, I think dying here is not too bad because you get the objective bounty in your pocket, and hey, you get that in your pocket, and then I get some hard steal procs as well.
Hard steals.
And he's still going on top of Dark Slasher. Dark Slasher is in a bit of a predicament, has to go all out, but the knock-up from his teammate will sort of help him in place. The Cleavers, they're just whiffing, but Dark Slasher is in a bit of a predicament. Dark Slasher in a big... triple-digit HP, 1 Q, he dodges it, and Pander will fall to the LeBlanc. At the same time, it'll be Dragon Soul, Hextech Soul to this man, as the Glacial Prison was about to expire, I believe, so that's why he used it like that.
Fair enough. Gold lead still 6K, still stabilized. Even though Panther did fall, he's getting so many of these objective bounties. He's making his life worth it. Because you got to think about it. You do trade your life for these towers, but one, you've already died 5 times, so you're not worth a lot of gold, right? That means you're definitely gaining when you take these objective bounties, but not only that, objective bounties are global gold, meaning you're not just benefiting and catalysting your build forward, you're helping your Jinx hit that Infinity Edge that was just purchased. You're helping the Shadow Flame come out very soon. Very good use of the Cleanse Flash to get out of that situation from Kakane.
Yeah, Kakane, but that is 2 key spells down for the count, and especially against things like this Owen with the Called Forge Guard or LeBlanc jumping on top of you. That potentially could be a soon-to-be dead Kakane, as right now you see it, he's getting one shot by this guy as Ezreal. That was a WQ, and bye-bye Soraka.
Man, they do have the Ornn out available. We might just see a crossing of Ornn Ram ships happening out. That's going to be the first one. Is it going to connect onto anybody? The answer is going to be no. Yeah,
I mean, hey, Call the Forge Guard was in use, but that's all it takes. And this end, 22-2. That's a lot of 2s on the board with an 8K gold lead.
I have a joke for you.
What's up?
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, but honestly, man, what a game. What a statement from Iolani Middle School.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, it kind of feels like they got this lead all of a sudden. You know what I mean? The narrative of this game, you know, we talk about how Evan Mackay have been keeping it true. It's true, right? They've been keeping it very close. I would say that Baron steal was probably the closest that this game has been, and then afterward, a couple fights gone awry, and this is where we are right now. I think they have a lot that they can improve on because they were able to stabilize the early game. This is something that we haven't been able to see from any other team that fought against Iolani. Granted, there was not a lot. You know, there was only one other series before this, but
Angel Cat meme stole the Scuttle Crab again.
Oh.
This man just likes stealing stuff from Draco, man. That's some bullying right there.
Oh.
And speaking of bullying, Roman Eyes and Co. found Kakane. That was a blink and you miss it moment. One moment he was there, another moment, oh.
That LeBlancs will do that to ADCs.
LeBlancs do that to a lot of things, to supports, to mid laner, to top, and to jungles. And speaking of the jungle, we see the Baron being taken.
Baron going to be taken.
Oh,
do we believe in a second steal here?
We'll see. That's a lot of damage.
Oh, they're going to throw everything.
Angel Cat, they're just waiting for Angel Cat memes to finally fall before finally taking it with the flash out. That should be the confirmed kill. Angel Cat memes will fall with the Dark Slasher. And that should be the guaranteed Baron for Iolani Middle School. And with the Baron buff in place, this could be the game-ending push for this team.
I'm glad Iolani learned from their first Baron and wouldn't opt to let it happen again. But you're absolutely right. This is going to be Baron now. Our observers got paused for a little bit.
Yeah.
Mr. Tanner.
I guess it's Tanner time, I guess.
Yes, so.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage in place. But the 3-man knock-up onto this squad. That Jace is dead yet again. Blinking, you miss it. Tilted Squares soon to follow. There goes the Sun. Glacial Prison will not do much. Average player. Last man standing. He was last man standing. Instead of being the Mundo in the bot side, fighting against the Ornn. And it's a wet noodle fight down
I don't think he's
here.
winning the space race.
He's not winning this. As we look back to the Nexus, they will fall. The Nexus turret, one last to fall. And here we go. Back to this fight, but instead it'll just be the game, though. Diana will fall, and this will be the game. We see the Nexus instead, but that will be GG. Game number 1 going over to Iolani Middle School. And they're halfway there, Henry.
The camera control was a bit wild, just like the series so far, but we'll forgive him. It was a pretty hectic game here, and, you know, honestly, something that both teams have to talk about, you know. This definitely feels like a weaker Iolani, and an improved on. Thank you for waving at us. We love you looking at the camera.
He's probably going back. He's probably going back to deathmatch right now on Valorant. While that guy's standing up.
Yeah, that guy's on chess. You know.
TFT
yeah, but
chess. Yeah.
Regardless, this was a game that both teams have something to mention going into the second one. But Iolani going to take that 1-0 lead here, halfway to that championship title.
Yeah, halfway. They're almost there indeed, Henry. But while we prep for the game number 2 between these two Titans, we gotta take a short break because Henry, we got some food from the food truck. We gotta eat, we gotta get some grinds in.
I know. It's time.
It's time.
Late lunch.
But so yeah, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back as we prep up for this game number 2 between these two guys with the Hawaii Esports League 2023 Championship. We'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, welcome back to the Hawaii Esports League Spring 2023 Championship, the League of Legends Grand Finals, and we just had some good food to eat. Yep. Courtesy of Chef Ahmed, and now we're ready to see this game number 2. Potentially the final game if Iolani does win it out, or we might see a best of 3 if Makai has an answer back to them.
So you usually flame me for saying that, but this time you said it, okay? Everybody has it on tape. You were the one who said it, not me. But this is the underdog story we're talking about. We expected Iolani to take game 1 after what was a pretty decisive semifinals series that they had for themselves. You know, they're riding the. They love waving at us too. You know, it's like they're the people's champion.
Yeah, Makai.
They're the people.
they have a notebook. They have a strategy for this.
Ooh.
Or it's a death note.
Or it's a death note. You're right.
If that's a death
or
note.
Maybe it's a DDoS note. You know, I think that would be even funnier. But yeah, both teams getting it down to business. Iolani trying to close it out. Evan Makai now having to do a reverse sweep in order to claim the championship for themselves. But like I said before we took our break, both teams have something to talk about. I feel like the Iolani we saw in game number 1 was not the same Iolani we saw in the previous series. And the Evan Makai that we saw doesn't feel like the one that we saw with the Belveth or the one with the Diana performance.
Yeah, a lot of questions to be asked, a lot of questions to be answered in that case. But we have to wait and see what they pick. We saw the bans last time. There was no Caitlyn. There was no Irelia, of course. A lot of the power picks were taken away, and we'll have to see what Iolani does and what Evan Mackay does as well to counteract that.
Yeah, and I think what Evan Mackay bans is probably going to be the more interesting thing. Iolani have been sticking with the same 3 bans that we've been seeing throughout today. I don't expect them to change that because of, match point or anything like that. But Evan Mackay, they have 3 bans for the top side and then 2 bans for the bottom side. I think that kind of comes to show what they really prioritize more. And we've been seeing their jungler pop off. Is it enough to carry a game if they don't have a second pillar to help them? Because I think what I've noticed from Evan Mackay's side is every game that they've won, there was someone else other than the jungler that was also propelling them forward.
Yeah. So let's see who can step up, who will step up from this Evan Mackay squad. Because we've seen it. Kakane, at one point, he was popping off.
Draven was pretty good.
At one point, we did see the mid laner popping off as well. So it's a question to see who will step up along with this jungler, like you mentioned.
I think so. I think that's going to be the case. It's going to be up to these players to step up. I think this win is completely within their control. And it really just comes down to execution during the game.
Yeah, their destiny is in their own hands. Will their destiny be falling here, or will their destiny be rising up from the ashes of defeat and complete that reverse sweep yet again? It is it's up in their hands.
That would be such a story to tell. Coming into the semifinal match, taking down the reigning champions in a reverse sweep 2-1, taking down the heavyweight Iolani team in a reverse sweep 2-1. Think about that narrative for themselves. Now, we do have to credit on the other side, Iolani. They are ahead by this one game that we just finished. Halfway there to that championship in terms of game score. All they need is another win here, or another win within the next 2, I should say, to close it out, and that will complete it, and they will be crowned champions.
1 win away. It's a possibility, Hattery, and that means the League of Legends will be finally over, or it'll extend further beyond. We have to wait and see. Slowly but surely, the picks and bans are happening off screen. We didn't really know who had which side selection just yet, if Iolani remained on blue side or they swapped it.
Yeah, we weren't notified yet, but we will know as soon as the picks, as soon as the draft does come up. But don't forget, we do still have Rocket League after this. We did not forget about you guys, Rocket League in the corner over there, finishing up. I think they're in their semis or probably done already.
I think they're done. I think they're just waiting for
they're just patiently waiting. Maybe catch some League of Legends while you wait out for us.
Yeah, Rocket League, League of Legends. It's all about the league.
All the leagues. In the Hawaii League.
Of course. And we still have the 3 trophies remaining as well for these teams. Rocket League reign to crown their champion. League of Legends reign to crown their champion. We have to wait and see who will be the champions.
Do you know who the 3rd game is?
It might be chess or it could be Knockout City. I have no idea, honestly.
Maybe there's another Smash bracket we don't know about.
I honestly don't know Smash. I wouldn't doubt it, but here we are. It looks like Evan Mackay did opt in for that blue side for that first pick, while Iolani on the red side. And of course, Henry, Aurelia's banned.
Yeah. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. It was pretty strong. Not gonna lie, can't deny it.
Face.
Huh?
Surprise Pikachu face.
Yeah, surprise Pikachu face. Oh my goodness! But now the Iolani bans, are they gonna be the same 3? The Hecarim. Don't remember the other 2. I think Silas was one of them. No, Silas was not one of them.
No, but it should have been a Silas. But I think you don't have to anymore unless you want to give him this preference pick. But yeah, we have to wait and see though, because I do remember one of them was the Nasus.
Oh, yes, the Nasus. Panther has had kind of flippy-floppy Mundo performances. We saw one Mundo performance in the beginning. It was not great. We saw the second one. It was absolutely great. And now the third one here, a little bit shaky. So, I mean, maybe he's following a pattern, He'll pick Mundo again. Game 4, it's the no yes pattern.
Hey, but he did get a lot of pressure in these side lanes.
Of course.
But of course, let's see what the bans will be. Sejuani banned out. They don't want to see that power pick. Viego, that was the other pick. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. It could be the same 3 again. So, Sejuani going to get taken off the table. I think you could obviously draft other junglers that match the Sejuani. Stuff like the Maokai, like the Vi, the J4 that we've been talking about. I think that's just not Angel Cat Meme's playstyle, which is why they're trying to avoid doing that matchup here. And instead, just trying to pincer the pool. Nasus now going to be taken out. Okay, makes sense.
So the Dr. Mundo, though, and it will be probably locked in for Evan Mackay for...
Before you continue, I realized why I was confused. The
names are
not backwards. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I was like, oh, okay. Not sure how that one turned out. Producer now going on a mad fury, typing in
He made a face. He made a face.
all of the things.
It happens.
Exactly right.
But yeah, Pander on his signature Dr. Mundo that will get locked in just shortly. And I want to see what the rest of the board is. Orange should still be up available. We saw that last time around along. What else was picked? Orange, you have Diana still.
I think other than the J4, it could be a salty run back. You know, the same 10, well 9, because
Sejuani too was taken off.
Yeah. So the same 9 champions, potentially, making a reappearance.
Orange locked in for McStabby stabbed. And we'll see what Draco will pick in his pocket. No Sejuani this time around for those wombo combos. And taking away the Diana from Angel Camis, but it could also just be a mid lane pick. It could be swapping.
Well, we do know they're picking in order. Remember that. So this is going to be that Diana jungle that we've been seeing time and time again. But the Evelyn was something that has been, trickling through every so often, and we get to finally see it. This feels more along Angel Cat Memes' play style right here. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but I'm looking at something else on the board. I see the set locked in, the Evelyn locked in. That's interesting. That's a mid lane set.
Okay, so very tanky.
Very tanky.
Very tanky and very in. The engage factor is very, very strong. That buys Evelyn a lot of distraction time, but the gentleman's agreement is handshook upon in the mid lane, so we will now have 4 top laners in what could be an elimination match. And Eva Mackay, I kind of like this because they're dictating the pace of this draft right now. This Renekton would not have come out had it not been the set mid. This Evelyn is clearly going to be a comfort pick, and now Iolani are trying to figure out, okay, what can we do to counter that at least in the second half?
They just want to scrap. So it's big scrappy champions. You have the Samira, you have the Leona stuff, probably going to get banned as always. Nautilus stuff, like you mentioned earlier. You have the things like the Neela that could be locked in. So a lot of aggressive, get-in-your-face champions in the boss side of the map. As you see, no Zillion, no Draven, and no Caitlyn, but Samira still up. Ophelio still up, like always.
Thresh, Leona in terms of the support department also. So lots of picks left open, and this Ezreal was one of the picks that have been trickling around through the semifinals, finals bracket so far. And to see it banned out, same thing as kind of last game, yeah? 380 season the Zillion taken off the table, which gives the supports a lot of breathing room. And that Samira, like you were talking about, if they're going to come in, easy setup for my Inferno Trigger is probably what Romanize is thinking.
Very easy setup with how in your face Eva Mackay is. And what will Kakane, an average player 12, answer back, though? A lot of things you can pick up. Like we mentioned, there's no Caitlyn, no stuff. Oh, but Tristana, that's a very aggressive. You jump in and you jump out with get the reset if possible. And with the bomb, that could get a lot of damage.
So joining the rest of the team in the going in factor, you do have to be a little bit careful just because your wind wall, the wind wall from Romanize's side could get rid of your explosive charge, and then that's most of your damage potential. But now the Thresh in the hands of average player 12. He's going to be more than an average player if he wants to keep this series going. And we got some troll hovers coming out right here. I don't think it's going to be Yasuo with the double wind wall. Very creative in drafting.
Okay, here we go.
But that makes a lot more sense. A repeat pick here, unless...
No, he's trolling me. He's trolling me. Yeah,
he's having so much fun.
He's having too much fun. I do this all the time too at work. I always lock in. I hover stuff catchers wanted.
Okay.
But it is what it is. And we see the official compositions on the board, Henry. It looks very, very scrappy.
Yeah, and good damage composition coming out from Iolani. They have technically 2 sources of AP, 2 sources of AD. From Eva Mackay, you're really just counting on that Evelyn being that super damage assassin. And this now looks again to me like a story of both of the hyper carry junglers, right? Evelyn, I don't know more hyper carry you can get in terms of jungling than that. And Diana, we've seen it, has been taking over the games so well. It's going to come down to the wire here.
Henry, coming in today, I did expect we're going to see a lot of AP junglers. I didn't expect we'd see this amount of AP junglers.
Oh,
Diana, the Evelyn, technically Sejuani as well, if you think about it.
I think the Kindred was the only non-AD jungler we've seen all day today.
Definitely so. As we do see it, it will be the Diana in the jungle. Don't mind that. We just swap out on our overlays just a bit soon enough. But yeah, Diana jungle. Dark Slasher opting towards that jungle position while Draco is now the mid laner. Interesting.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. So they kind of did like they either made a mistake or they were not in LCS order, which is totally fine because
it happens. A lot of times you do see mid-match like them swapping roles. It is allowed, technically speaking.
Yeah, I think it makes sense just because I don't think Iolani accounted for the fact that a set mid was going to be picked of all things, right? But the fact that it was, and now I don't think Dark Slasher probably had a pick to go into it with the Aurelia being banned. So it made sense that Draco was probably like, oh yeah, I play this type of champion, I'll just swap with you. You can play your Comfort Diana. I'll just slot right in with the Renekton. And, you know, both of these compositions, looking at it from a far lens perspective, as Tilted Squares is getting the reps in right now. Both teams very melee.
All I gotta say is our producer's probably jealous of that right now, getting all those reps in. If he could, he wishes he could be at the gym. We know you're a gym, bro. We see you.
He's a little confused, but he's got the spirit.
Yeah, he got the spirit. But let's look at this, though. Ignite for Tilted Squares, Ignite for Drakova as well. So pretty standard stuff. And finally, the exhaust for Romanize, as we mentioned before with Samira.
Classic Samira pick. Both junglers starting on their respective blue buffs. So they are on opposite sides for the time being. And Set, one of those champions that can be really aggressive in the early game. But Draco playing around that Fury bar. Anything above 50 Fury can pretty much win a trade for you. So got to be a little cautious for that. Teleport Ghost once again for Pandirt. Got him out of a lot of sticky situations. Probably looking to utilize that to his advantage once again. But I think both mid laners taking Ignite here is probably what's interesting me the most.
Yeah, I mean, then you see a lot more Ignite first, as well as the Doran's Blade. You see a lot more Doran Shield for these tanky top laners. But no, that's, like we mentioned, it's going to be scrappy. It's going to be fighty.
Lots of fighting. Both mid laners very hesitant to use their Ignite for the same reason as we've seen before. You don't want to be the one to give up first blood, right? That's just on boys. So holding it for now until they see a clear window of opportunity, perhaps waiting for their junglers to make en route. But the thing is, we know Evelyn, pretty famous for not really being able to do anything.
Oh, but the Ignite
Haymaker's going to miss.
Tilted and Draco, but the minions will help them out. First blood going over to the Crocodile of the mid lane.
I wonder, well, the Triumph obviously saved Draco there, but I wonder if the flash response to the Haymaker to position might have been that difference maker there. It was so close, and that's what we've been talking about for these series.
It's pixels.
Yeah, both of these teams are kind of giving it their all here, and that's really good to see, that competitive nature, showing the teamwork, you know, in the finals is better time now than never, obviously.
Better now than later, indeed. But yeah, Henry, we also got to talk about one more thing before I forget, because a lot of Petroleum is in the house. But before that, let's look at top lane, Bandit. But yeah,
he'll be fine. He's got coast.
Petroleum, though, they're in the house right there. They got a boot on the side over there. They got a QR code. So you actually sign up for the Aloha Rewards program as Dark Slasher. I guess he didn't hear about the program as he's just getting chased down by the rest of the team here. But look at the Haymaker going in, and Angel Cat memes on the board yet again. This is the man we always keep on talking about, Angel Cat memes, but Draco on the back end with his slashing and dashing as both junglers will fall.
Both will fall, but I think Draco might.
He should be able to get out.
Oh,
he's fine.
Okay. Good sidestep on that Haymaker there.
Oh, and more action in the bot lane as well. Flash, exhaust, everything, the whole shebang down there. By Henry, especially the My Hello Rewards though for Low Petroleum, pretty useful, especially if you sign up with them. You get saving on the gas, especially a lot of people from Evan Mackay here. That's
far drive.
That's a far drive. I mean, you know where Kapolei is, right?
I think I do.
You think so? Fair enough. Fair enough, Henry.
End of conversation. Let's not talk more about that.
I mean, you don't know where a lot of places are, let's be real.
Yeah.
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 Hey, look at this man, another oh wow, it's a lot of damage on top of Draco from Tilted, and Tilted doing a good job, has a dagger in his pocket, and that's all he needs.
Attack speed proving very, very good right here, just getting the quick 1-2s in so then you can lower this Renekton's health bar quite a bit. This is when Renekton is probably the weakest, having to juggle around the Fury, but
I think if he aimed it at the correct spot and Draco's in the middle of it, that might have been a kill for
What I think
Tilted.
happened there was it was buffered. You know, it was preemptively W'd because Draco was perfectly lined up there.
True.
So You could argue ping diff, you know.
Hey, Hawaiian Telecom, there you go.
They're doing great.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, honestly, they are, like, showing how good they can be, or showing that their ceiling is not there just yet. They can still go further beyond. They're still at the ground level. They can still work and get better.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of getting better, look at this gold lead. It's about 1,000 at 6 minutes. In Game 1, this was a 4K lead, or 3K lead, around 6 minutes. Look how stable Evan Mackay have been making this early game, and we've been talking about their ability to improve so rapidly throughout a series, and they're just showcasing it here. It's a great display of skill right here, and it really comes down to when the junglers finally decide to make their presence known on the map. There was that little skirmish in the mid lane, but they both ended up dying, so not too prevalent there. But you know, when the sixes start coming out and the Evelyn can go stealthing and the Diana can have this pull in, that's when we're expecting a big chunk of the action. But
big chunk of action indeed. Here comes Dark Slasher, flash out for Tilted. Speaking of which, there is Ultimate's Moonfall ready for Dark Slasher whenever he does want to do some action in any of these lanes. And of course, first dragon of the game, Henry, will be that Chemtech Soul. Or sorry, Chemtech Dragon, not Soul.
Yeah, no Soul.
Not yet.
So potentially no Chemtech Souls through the whole day, which is...
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, a little unlucky. I don't know how much I like the Chemtech Soul. I don't know. It's pretty okay.
Top lane, the Oran Horn will land on top of Panzer. Panzer, though, very low.
Charm.
Here comes the Charm coming in from Angel Cat Memes. No ultimate just yet for this Evelyn. Not enough sneaky action, and he should be able to get out of here without a problem. Stabby, stab, getting stabbed. The spikes will land, and he will fall. As Dragon slain by the red team.
So Dragon in favor of the top side kill. A little bit of trading cross map. Hook is going to land. Are they going to invest the explosive charge? They are.
Oh, interesting. Not enough ticks there. I do want to point out, though, average player opting in for the Aftershock instead of the standard Glacial Augment. Oh, and here comes Renekton. He is big and strong. He's the ultimate. The whiff from the Haymaker. They're still going in, and Draco. Killing spree for him, 3-0-0.
Excellent read on that Haymaker. We always talk about it. It's really hard because you have to aim in one direction or the other, and Renekton just conveniently is able to dash to the other side of whatever side you're aiming at. So a little bit of a counterplay there. I think it's pretty difficult. I think I know what Tilted Squares was going for, just getting the Renekton under the tower, right? Taking advantage of having that, quote, second person in your lane for you to help you damage out the enemy, but not too hot so far. And we're seeing a Bork start for this set, which makes a little bit of sense. It deviates from the typical Heartsteel recommendation and could provide the sustain needed to square up with the Renekton.
Speaking of Renekton, Henry, look at his first item that he did build up for in this lane, though. It was a plated steel caps for this Renekton, which is a very smart buy considering if bot lane does rotate up, you can use these plated steel caps to counteract that Tristana. Draco, though, so strong. Pickaxe in his belt along with that.
Yeah, completely stifles the two AD sources, the main two AD sources on the side of Evan Mackay. They were both auto attack based, and so that's going to help out a lot. The main thing that you do need to worry about, though, is investing boots so early when there's a 2-1 Evelyn on the other side could be detrimental for such an early investment. Sure, you get oh, hold on.
Oh, going in, Inferno Trigger, stacking, surely only 4 stacks available for him. But speaking of sneaky, here comes Angel Cat Memes, but a preemptive Inferno Trigger from Romanites will make him walk away. Set walking down to the square, ready to square up like you said before, but it's 4v2 scenario. Gotta be very careful. Romanize still walking up, but oh, Chaotic Phoenix will fall. The execute will land. Angel Cat Memes, there you go. 3-1-0. We keep on talking about the crocodile. Can't forget about the invisible lady.
Can't forget about her. She's everywhere. Shout out to one of our good friends. His name is Gunwook, a.k.a. Pogshim. Loves playing the Evelyn champion just for reasons like this. You can be so sneaky around the jungle. Makes it really hard to counter jungle. So even if Dark Slasher has that lead, you're going to want to second guess yourself on whether you want to invade, not knowing the location of the Evelyn. So instead, decides to take a neutral objective. And now we're tied up 3-3. Gold lead only about like 1.6 or so. What a stable early game here for both teams.
Very stable, a lot more slower pace compared to the previous games we've seen throughout the day. Dark Slasher knows that Angel Cat Memes is nearby, knowing and growing as Draco fighting tilted squares on that back end, barely surviving, popping the ultimate there. And yeah, you know, it is a lot more calculated gameplay from both teams, if you will.
Yes, very slow and methodical, which is not always a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
If you fight too much and you keep losing the fights, then, you know, it doesn't work for either side. You start falling further and further behind. If you just leave it to a game of farming, then, well, just farm quite easily.
There you go. Advice from Henry. Just farm.
Yep. If the enemy only gets 5 CS in the wave, your goal is 5 CS or more. That kind of thing.
Yep, as Swain, Chaotic Phoenix, Xeno's a little chaos in the bot lane, trying to 1v2 the Tristana and Thresh. Semira's finally there. So is Dark Slasher. Let's see what he does. No vision in that bush. This should be fine. Death Sentence won't land. Gets instantly deleted from that document. Let's see what happens. Yep, they do know there's no vision there. So if Dark Slasher wants to come down, he can, but I think he's fine with just farming the jungle for now.
And we can kind of see, because of how slow this game is, both sides are actively looking for an avenue in order to propel the resources forward a little bit. And, oh, there we go. There's that true damage coming in. That Haymaker was beautiful. Now, Diana coming in with the Rift Herald means that is going to be a few plates falling down in that mid lane. Ironically enough, mid lane is not the most damaged lane, well, until this Herald falls. That's going to be a couple more plates going in favor, but nothing more than that. Again, just these little pennies every so often that Iolani are slowly accumulating. We can see it in the gold graph. Most of that gold lead is in that mid lane. It's about 1.8. The gold lead is a little bit over 2, so that's where most of it is. Renekton is pretty strong. Personally, also he's running the TFT Renekton skin, and we know what that does.
TFT angle. Our producer's happy then. Very much so. As Mountain Drake is alive, and it will be Iolani getting the upper hand on this one more so. Angel Cat Memes is still invisible, and they don't have any pink wards to see where he is. But he can finally get spotted out. The charm in place with the Moonfall. Oh, but a beautiful showstopper there, and they want to go for more. The stun up in place on top of Angel Cat Memes. Angel Cat Memes will get the execute on top of Renekton. So will Dark Slasher fall. But it is Samira time. Samira is ready. 2 versus 3. A lot of ultimates have been denied, Henry. And will they continue, though?
And Evelyn has this really cool, crazy interactive ability where in hiding, she just goes back to a certain amount of HP. And being the only jungler left alive, that means Eva Makai are going to be able to even up the dragon count. And another Hextech Soul for us here today. Not Mountain. Thing is broken on the top left. Not our fault. It's Riot.
Not our fault. Not our fault at all. Oh, yeah. Let's see. 4-1-1 for this Evelyn. Pretty beefy, Henry. Pretty beefy now as the Owen Horn will land on top of Pandred again. Pandred, he's like just getting knocked up every single time we go back to this top side. It's like, all right, Owen Horn getting knocked by the E. It keeps on happening.
Rinse and repeat. And that we saw a minor gold lead in that top side. I can guarantee you most of that is just coming from the CS differential. It's 34 in favor of that Ornn. We get a little worried every time the Ornn gets a bit ahead if you're on the enemy team, just because closer to the ornaments, closer to all of those things as soon as you possibly can. But this Evelyn is starting to become a problem. The fact that Draco now has been slain by that Evelyn now shows, you know, this is a threat. This is a 7 Dark Seal stacks. Could become a Magi's later. And yes, you're shutting down the set over and over again, but he is eventually going to do a lot of damage with his Haymaker anyway.
Yeah, that sounds about right, pretty much. We see the rest of the board, though. We do see the shield bow finally complete for this Samira, and we've seen time and time again how useful it is. Dark Slasher going in, no knock from Stabby Saz that flash forward, but there is a blast plant back into the Diana. Dark Slasher slashing down his enemies, getting a shutdown gold in his pocket.
Very unlucky. The ultimate was just not available to escape over a wall. Uses the dash there to avoid that true damage, but I will say Tilted Square is getting a bit more accurate with that true damage. Just a little sliver going on over there.
Yeah, and Draco making sure he keeps on dodging it by slashing away. And here we go, round 2. Oh, he does go back into the turret, but that's all he needed. Easy enough to get out. And you see the hook lands in on top of this Samira. Inferno Trigger will spin away, but a nice rocket to send him back. And make sure there was no more damage happening.
Very vital, but now we see a collapse coming in on that bot side. Both junglers in the position that they need to be.
Oh, and Dark Slasher getting another kill. 2, 2, and 2 on the board. Angel Cat memes. We all know with how low they are, that could be an execute coming in from the ultimate from Angel Cat memes. But he's not alone. He has backup. They will spot him out because of the controller dying there. It is going to be tilted squares. And
don't know if they saw the set coming in, but it's just going to be a walk-off.
No, they should have saw him because when they defeated the ward, he was right there, so the vision was there in that regard. And that makes, of course, makes Stab, and Pandert just vibing.
Okay, I respect it.
Yeah, there's 2 tanks in the top side, just farming it up, getting Heartsteel, etc.
Man, that's kind of been the story for today. We've only really seen tanks on the top side, and they just have these like nudge fights going on over and over again. Obviously, kills do go through because eventually, if you beat, I guess, a brick wall enough times, it'll start cracking. But
you got your homies coming to back you up eventually. You know,
yeah.
It happens.
But other than that, like we've been saying, very slow, very stable laning phase for both sides.
Very stable. Here comes average player. You're trying to get a hook, but you know, just a dash out for Draco and make sure he gets out. As Chaotic Phoenix walking forward. No root in place, but you have to be careful if you're Tristana. You can 1v2, but against Swen, against Samira, it's pretty scary, not gonna lie.
That is going to be, if I believe, second Herald? Yes, because the first one was dropped in the mid lane. The second one could be used to finally crack open that mid tower. Dark Slasher showing up.
Showing up, they go in, and oh, he will ult out to get away, but not enough. Dark Slasher getting another one in his pocket. 3-2, and he was at 1 point 0-2 and 2, and now he's 3-2 and 2. Bot lane. It's just another just friendly poke, if you will, from these two.
Just a simple trade. Nice, cute little win wall there, but that is going to be down for the next 20-something seconds. Now,
mid lane.
Angel Cat means trying to go for it, but look at this damage. The Ignite.
The Ignite will tick him down, but yeah, the execute was not enough to take out the Renekton. There's no passive. Oh, there's a passive. Spell immune, as you saw on the board. And Pandert, he's just having a good time. Nice charging out the ultimate. It's a little bit of a stimmy there as McStabby Stab has to be careful. No flash available. He's just getting chunked down. No cleaver to land on the last end. But dashing in for, Dark Slasher. That was supposed to be a gentleman's agreement. Why'd you come in?
That's what I'm saying. Dark Slasher, come on, man.
That's
be homies.
But 4-2 and 2 now for him. He's getting further beyond. He's getting stronger and stronger as items come into play.
Okay. So, with the second Rift Herald, that means that top outer has now fallen. It looks like the charge is going to be successful for a second one. We were thinking they would crack it mid, but I think they think, oh yeah, the mid tower is already pretty low. We'll be able to trickle that down on our own without the need of a Herald.
Descendants lands on top of Chaotic Phoenix using the ultimate, so you have to be careful. He's just siphoning you down. And Azania to stay alive, and just a little bit of a reset from both squads as it's going to be Makai getting the first look at this Dragon, the Hextech Soul, by himself. But Diana, he's coming down. Diana's ready. Dark Slasher. You can see what he can do against this Dragon, but a nice ultimate away to keep him alive. As, they're using all the flashes, all the jumps to get out, as last man will be average player just falling back to the spawn zone.
Very unlucky once again. The support's just getting left out to dry, but you got to be pretty happy if you're Evan Makai because you just got an objective bounty. You know, the game is slowly falling out of your hands. The gold lead is starting to mount to something here, and getting yourself an objective bounty is exactly what the doctor ordered. Now, you did only lose one turret, well, two turrets, I should say, so far. They're both on the top side, meaning the mid lane and the bottom lane are actually still pretty short in terms of distance from safety. I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing more resources spent onto those two lanes just to capitalize on that potential for objective bounties.
Yeah, I agree 200%, and it is a possibility. We've seen time and time again, especially, we say same as on Pander. He will split those side lanes and get this tower.
It's where he lives.
Yep. He will never leave it. Has the Merc Treads, has the Hard Steel. It's pretty much full build already for him.
Yeah.
Opposite side, upgraded Jack Show for mixed stabby stab. As always, Jack Show, such a good item, especially in these team fights with this level, with this Mundo, with this set. Just in there, in your face, just absorbing all your HP and stats. And now, let's see though, he will get found out as he's recalling. There it is, mixed stabby stab will find an Evelyn. Force back way. That's a protobot already, along with the flash out with the Owen Horn, and they want to something.
Not sure if they want to try to catch out this Ornn, but the Ornn does have Ghost, not even Spellbook, so it's just a pure Ghost. Oh no, it was Ghost.
Yeah,
it was Spellbook.
Yeah, onto Spellbook Ghost, but yeah.
Okay.
He did that last game as well, I believe, so he's just consistently doing it, which I agree with, especially with an Ornn. You can get away with having to unseal Spellbook instead of things like Grasp or Aftershock. You can get away with it.
Completely agree. And now, Renekton, pretty
Oh
strong.
God.
Finished the Prowler's Claw.
Oh
so
God,
a lot of
Prowler's
Mythics
Claw.
are actually online for both
Are
sides
they
here.
changing it?
They are.
No more dash or something like that,
No
right?
more dash.
That's crazy. What's replacing it then?
Nothing.
Oh, that's what feels Batman.
Youmuu's is going to be a new Mythic.
Oh, that's a fun fact. I did not know that either. Hey, I can't wait for this new season as here comes. Oh, they're getting it on top of the Tristana. Oh, Kikane. It's a little bit unfortunate. Forced to blow the cleanse and the flash. While mid lane, there's Draco yet again getting a solo kill on top of his opposition, on top of this set. As Angel Cat means, doing Angel Cat mean things. As Pander in the top lane, getting chased down. Moonfall will descend, and it'll be a full moon out as Iolani across the board getting kills.
Trades here and there all across the map, but Iolani coming out just slightly on top of there. That was a 3-for-1. Evelyn left still alive, and now I think that mid lane outer turret is finally going to crack. They're not going to try push this bot lane outer one. Take it slow and methodically. After all, Ornn is level 14. This is one of those critical levels where you get your upgraded item. So just wait for those Ornn items to come out. Buff up your inventory a little bit, and then go back into the action. Now, this is the third dragon of the game already taken. Fourth one does come up in about 100 seconds with Baron already in play. And it looks like Iolani are focusing on the dragons more so than the Baron itself, which could give EMMS a little bit of leeway to perhaps sneak it.
There's a possibility. We have to wait and see. And oh yeah, Samir's full build already. Samir's full build.
Oh yeah, she's done.
Yeah. He's vibing now. As Chaotic will find tilted squares in the back end, taking away his control. We need to be careful. Still don't know where Evelyn is. Evelyn, he can be anywhere. Evelyn can be everywhere because they are invisible. Let's see though. Spectre Cowl is in the pocket for this man. Dark Slasher on the back. Dark Slasher. Moonfall should be ready. Yeah, Moonfall is ready. The protobot is so the aggression say, hey, I can go in anytime I want. He knows.
Yeah, it's very touch and go. You can see, you think you're safe, but then all of a sudden a small gap closer like that can immediately lead to something else. Tilted squares.
The squares in a predicament will fall to Dark Slasher, but on the back end we do know that the gold bounty, but oh no, the Moonfall will fall down. Average player will not die to zip, but instead his 80 carry Kikane will fall in his place. While topside Henry, outer turret was taken by the man, the myth, the legend. It is Pander doing Pander things.
Panny D up there in the top lane, always doing what he does best. Split pushing. The only 2 words in his inventory, or only 2 words to his vocabulary, I should say, which is not a bad strategy. It looks like Iolani, they love to group up and, take these objectives individually as a whole unit. That could prove to be their demise if Pander is left to the side too long. You saw he got 1 turret and almost started wailing at that second one. The Ornn is going to have to keep him in check, but if you keep alternating out these spells, you're not going to have teleport to join a team fight sometimes. So got to be mindful of that. But for the time being, it looks like the game has stabilized a little bit once again. Most people are just farming with the occasional person getting caught out, but we could definitely, you know, ramp that up and do something from there.
Yeah, definitely possibilities. Look at across the board, though. Kraken for the Tristana. Locket. I believe we haven't seen that too much today either. We've seen mostly the Radiant Virtues or the Shrelia Battle Song. So definitely something new to see in this regard, which I like. Locket is very smart choice in this scenario against things like the Renekton, Diana, the Samira, a lot of burst damage. Still good square, maybe a bit of a pickle as there goes the Moonfall. And I believe it just hit Thresh for that Call of the Forge God as 2 kills on the board for Iolani. And that just might be more as they look towards Baron.
That was a really fast kill onto the set. The set was not able to even press the W there. And get that shield, get the true damage, and none of it was possible. Of course, the set right now is actually really squishy, having only the Bork. And the thing to my surprise is opting in for that marksman item.
Oh, the flash is to execute. He steals it. Oh no, yet again, time and time again, Angel Cat Meme sacrifices his life to steal these Barons. Happened in game 1, happening in game 2. We keep on asking Evan Mackay, what you got, Evan Mackay? They show it time and time again. It's all about Angel Cat Memes as bot lane. Kikane, Tristana things.
2 really prominent, you know, pushers in terms of this game. We have the Tristana with the bombs, and we also just have Mundo being a menace on the side. This is a Baron and an objective bounty. 2 objective bounties in total, swinging the gold lead back from about 8,000 to just shy above 5K. And these are the moments that, you know, if you're on the side of Iolani, it happens, you know, you miss a smite every so often. It's the adrenaline of, you know, having that opposition here. But for Evan Mackay, these are the signs of life that you really like to see throughout a game.
You love to see it, love to see it. But now the question is, what's next for them? Baron's still alive, and here comes Call of the Forge God, wants to land on top of this man. The set getting solo, the set ulting out to get away. The slows in place, and he should be fine as Draco and McStabby Stab find a Thresh.
Creative exit. Kind of taxied onto the other member there and just walked out of it. So good on him for being able to think such quick on their feet. But it looks like the split pushing is starting to happen with Pandirt. Junglers just farming up, making sure that they stay relevant and ahead. Other than that, looking like a little bit of ARAM action like we've been seeing in the previous games.
Amen. And ARAM. And ARAM.
I love ARAM.
All the time as they will spot out Pandirt. He has the grievous wounds in this case. But Pandirt will get out. So Chaotic Phoenix, you know, good overall, good romance, but oh, the death sentence was a little bit wide there, unfortunately. Dark Slasher. Jesus. Dark Slasher. He wants to go in. You can tell his trigger is about to get pulled. But no follow-up from the death sentence, unfortunately. That could have been a potential to go in, but you have to watch out though, because Draco's there. No gangs there pretty much as the Locket is played the Jack in the box as the execute comes in. From this Evelyn, Angel Cat Memes gets a kill. Another one on the board as here comes the Ornn.
Teleport being invested, but it feels like the fight was already done. So now, teleport down. He's teleporting. He's like, you're not in the top lane anymore. I guess it's a free push for me.
Like, see ya. I'll be going up here now. But yeah, no, that's pretty big though. Pretty smart from Pandirt, seeing that the teleport and being invested from McStabby Stab, and now no one is there to counter you. As McStabby Stab is still in the mid lane. Where will Renekton go? Renekton be the one to match him, is what it looks like. Draco going towards that top side.
Absolutely so. Renekton, I'm surprised. I think this is like the first time Renekton's gone up in the top lane, which is ironic given that he is a top lane champion for a majority of play. Seeing that come out now, contesting, but it's a little too late. That turret has fallen. And the crazy thing is, now the gold lead has shrunken so much because of all of Evan Mackay's macro play that there is no longer objective bounties on the board. So that should be a clear sign to EMMS that the gold is somewhere around only 5K. No more, no less. And, you know, yeah, they're bringing it pretty close back.
Yeah, bringing it back. Dragon finally going to spawn. This is the 5th Drake of the game. Who will get the Hex Tech Soul point and who will watch as the other team claims it? Angel Cat Memes. No flash. There's a blast plant there. The last time.
is available.
And he do it again. 2k health. And I don't think they will try to contest it. There's no reason at all to give up your life for that.
Yeah, I mean, you just work so hard to stabilize the game to the situation that it is right now. So no point in making it, you know, worse for yourself. It is only one Hextech Dragon. It's not the soul quite yet. You know, you can live off of having a little bit less attack speed and ability haste than your opponent team. Pandert has been doing so much work on this top side, and the fact that he isn't opting to move to a different lane, but instead is hampering down, doubling down on this top lane side is becoming so annoying for the side of Iolani to deal with here. And Angel Cat Memes, he has just finished his death cap, so that's going to be a big power spike for him.
Big power spike, but here comes Dark Slasher again going on top of Pandert. Pandert, yeah, he gets out. He's fast. He's Speedy Gonzalez, if you will. Honestly, Pandert though, yeah, honestly, a bit of a menace. Oh, but Samira getting away out of that one. And that was a lot of damage on the Chaotic, but oh, he has to be careful. Goes the exhaust, trying to get out, but Kekana jumps in. Oh, but the rocket, I believe, did save Chaotic Feature as Dark Slasher on the back. Moonfall will land on 2. As, oh, here comes the set with the Haymaker. Will whip just a bit. They want to go for more. Dark Slasher is less than 100 HP. He will not fall. He will live. Draco will claim that kill. 2 members have fallen for Evan Mackay. And it should be a big mid push coming in from Iolani. But with less than a minute left, actually a little over 30 seconds for Baron spawning as well.
Yeah, that was a really close fight. Chaotic and Dark Slasher living with less than 100 HP apiece. If that had gone just a different way, if that Ignite had one more tick, you see it, the Diana just falls and stuff like that. You know, that's the matter of inches that we're talking about in terms of this game. So now, here we are, like you're saying, Baron is about to come up 15 seconds, and Iolani are going to have this inside track. Pandert trying to prove a distraction here. Might make quite a bit of noise, but he's going to sacrifice his life for it.
Sent to the Shadow Realm already, and right before the Baron spawn, it's a little bit of a predicament for Eva Makai. They don't have full numbers to counteract this Baron. Angel Cat Memes, though, just coming slowly.
Could try to steal.
Yeah, if anyone can do it, it will be Angel Cat Memes flashing in, but a little bit of a second too late. I like the try, though, but gets knocked by Call the Forge God. Will fall, sadly, as it comes tumbling down. 50-second death timer for Angel Cat Memes.
Very unlucky,
flashing. Oh, God.
And someone might be joining him right there.
I just blinked, Henry.
He was discovered accidentally right there from the Diana Q, so a very unlucky backing spot there. But yeah, this is gonna start being that snowball that either side was looking for. You know, Dragon into Baron, and look at that top side that has been oh so well prepared.
Oh no, average plays will fall. And right now, it's just Kekana and this Mundo. Pandert against the world. 2v5. Can they do it? This might be the end game push for Iolani Middle School.
They want to end.
They want to end indeed, Henry. They got a lot of ultimates coming up. Call the Fort got almost up there, but just knocking on the doors, knocking on the Nexus turrets. 1 will fall, 2 will fall. Iolani looking for the end. Iolani looking for the win. And Iolani will be your champions of the Hawaii Esports League Spring 2023 League of Legends Finals. There they are. They know it. They won 2-0. Congratulations.
And they can't help but still look at the camera even after their victory. They want to celebrate it so much. They want their parents to know they won this tournament. Props to them. I mean, they had to work for it. This was not an easy 2-0 despite the scoreline saying 2-0. This was something that Eva Makai made them work. Blood, sweat, and tears
honestly,
for.
Eva Makai popping off. Make it to the final. A Cinderella run, if you will. Pandert in the top lane. A rock-solid pick. Just keep on. Hey. My team is stable enough, and I'm just going to go for that top lane. And Angel Cat Memes, enough said.
Yes, sir. And obviously, you have the thing in competition, especially at the scholastic level, where people graduate, they move up in grade level, they may no longer be at your school. But for Evan Makai, if this is a roster that's staying together for one more semester, that
there you go.
is definitely something to look forward to, because they are already showing so much improvement from last semester as is.
Indeed. But with that, that'll be it for the League of Legends portion of the Hawaii Esports League. Unfortunately, that'll be it for me and Henry. But it's not done just yet. We have some Rocket League. The Grand Final is coming up after a break, after the award ceremony with K-Tat and Coltoon. So from both of us to you guys, thanks for watching for the League of Legends part, and we'll see you after a short break after the trophy ceremony. Have a good day.
Let's now continue to advance and announce the winners of the League of Legends portion of the competition today. Coming up as the runner-up for the championship after a very exciting upset over last year's defending champions in New Valley. Give it up for your runner-up in Eva Mackay Middle School. Where's the team? Yeah, come on down, come on down. Congratulations to them. They get their trophy and their Zippy's gift card. Nope. Ready? Turn around, guys. Yep. Turn around, smile, and wave. Give it up for Eva Mackay Middle School. All right. And in the championship position, after a very dominant performance today, establishing that true pipeline, please give it up for your League of Legends champions, Iolani Middle School. Once again, receiving their trophy, their Zippy's gift card. All right, get ready, guys. Turn around and be ready to hold up the trophy. Ready, 3, 2, go! All right, and then both teams, please report to the banner over there where the red carpet is. You guys will take some pictures in front of that. But congratulations to all the competitors for the League of Legends portion of the competition today.